Good morning, guys.
By reversing the symptoms of menopause, like the night sweats and the mood swings. Men and women, you don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. It works for me, and it'll work
Hello,
for you
hello.
too.
Well, everybody needs
Info at his
testosterone. If
website
you're over
is
the age of 30, you need testosterone.
hormonetherapy.com, or give him a call 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. And tell him Brian Craig sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people.
Hey, Neil, good morning. Neil, what's your new work schedule? You got a new schedule over there.
$100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782. The opinions expressed in the following program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show.
Oh, yeah, the periodic table of Star Wars characters. Overnights, rest of the week. I love overnights. That's the best time to work. It really is. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. It's Tuesday morning, September 10th. And, it's hard to believe that tomorrow will have been 20 years since September 11th. Oh, my goodness. I know. Isn't that crazy? Well, I had 20 years. This is not quite 20 years, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, it's really going to be the 18th year. It's like 2 decades. And I've talked a lot. I got a lot of things to talk about today. I just want to mention here, 18 years, almost 20 years later, in just a few days, there will be men and women in combat who were born after 9/11. I want you to think about that. We are going to have men and women in combat in just a couple days, or in some hot zones around the world, who were born after 9/11. That is insanity. Insanity. I know. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing. I know. And the war should not be going on that long. All right. Welcome back, each and every one of you. So much to talk about. So much going on. So the liberals are really a bunch of miserable people. If I were off the radio, I'd use another word, the F word, because that's what they are. Miserable. Here you have this great American family, the Palin family. And if you don't know, Todd Palin filed for divorce in Anchorage, Alaska from Sarah Palin. So we have this great American family who's going through a terrible thing right now. A terrible thing. The breakup of the marriage. They got a lot of kids. They got the young child. How young is that baby now? That baby's got what? I don't know. 10 years old. And it's a terrible thing. What the American left did to the Palin family since she was an announced candidate is really disgusting. And I'll give credit to Todd and Sarah Palin for sticking together this long. When Sarah Palin came out, I mean, think about, if you go back to what they did to Sarah Palin, it's absolutely crazy what they did to Sarah Palin. When John McCain, who's a creep, okay, John McCain was a creep, but I didn't know he was a creep back then. When he announced Sarah Palin, I was very excited. I like Sarah Palin. I've always liked Sarah Palin. She's gotten a little weird. She humiliated herself at that Trump rally a couple of years back with the funny shirt and just out of control. But I like Sarah Palin. And she came out. She had a newborn baby, unfortunately born with Down syndrome. And immediately what happened with the American left? The American left, now keep in mind, a lot of these women like Katie Couric and others, they started attacking her. How can she be vice president and governor and a mom? Shouldn't she? I couldn't believe liberals were saying this. Sarah Palin should be at home taking care of that baby. What? What, barefoot, pregnant with a baby in the kitchen? That was the left, and it began. And then when it came out that Sarah Palin's daughter hid her pregnancy on that announcement day, they nearly caused Sarah Palin's daughter to have a miscarriage. I am not kidding you, because she was pregnant out of wedlock by that white trash guy. Was it Levi? Was that his name? And the liberals were attacking Sarah Palin's pregnant daughter for they were slut-shaming her. I don't know if we had slut-shaming as a phrase back in '08, but they were slut-shaming her. Oh, she's pregnant out of wedlock. What a terrible message, and da-da-da-da-da, you know. And can you imagine a young girl thrust on the national spotlight not being pregnant, teenage girl at that, what that would be like? And then, you know, then they're attacking her for being pregnant out of wedlock? I thought she was going to have a miscarriage. The left went into Trump derangement syndrome like meltdowns with Sarah Palin in '08. They were terrified of Sarah Palin because she was young and attractive, and they thought that she would be the future of female politics. And she could have been. Sarah Palin made some mistakes along the way after that race was over, you know. But what the left did to Sarah Palin, Todd Palin, to her children, remember that creepy reporter, after the election was lost, some creepy liberal reporter rented a house next door to the Palins and was spying on them and filming them and photographing them at home, and they could see inside the windows. So Todd got his friends together, Todd Palin, they went down to the Home Depot or whatever, and they put up a privacy fence so that this creepy reporter, this was after the election. So I'm surprised that the marriage has lasted this long. They have been under such and remember during the campaign, they found out that she had had sex with a black guy in college. So in college, she had hooked up with some basketball player who's black, and they were going with that. And what they thought was, see, the liberals believe all their rhetoric and stereotypes about conservatives, and they think conservatives are racist, right? They're the racists, but they think we're the racists. So they said, we got it. They were doing to Sarah Palin really what they were doing to Donald Trump in a lot of ways. It was Palin derangement syndrome, which has morphed into Trump derangement syndrome. And they said, oh, she had sex with a black guy in college. That'll get those right-wing redneck swamp people, Duck Dynasty watching Republicans, when they find out that she had sex with a black man, then they'll drop Sarah Palin. Remember all this stuff? They made a porno movie portraying Sarah Palin having sex with Todd Palin's business partner. They made a porno movie. That was during the campaign. And they had all these stories that she had had an affair with Todd Palin's business partner. Then they made it into a porno movie. Was Larry Flynt connected to that? I don't know. I met Larry Flynt once. We had him on the show. And I got to tell you, Larry Flynt is a complete gentleman. I really like Larry Flynt. He was a nice guy. No ego. Totally cool. A total gentleman, Larry Flynt. You wouldn't think that. He was in his gold wheelchair. I like Larry Flynt. I know. You're not supposed to like Larry Flynt if you're a guy. I like Larry Flynt. I was pretty impressed with him. He had 2 bodyguards. It was pretty cool meeting Larry Flynt. You know. But anyway, what they did to the Palin family all these years. What do you read? What do you read? Remember that with Katie Couric, like she doesn't read? Yeah. I mean, what they put them through, most families wouldn't be able to stick together during all of that. It would be god-awful. Wouldn't it be god-awful? Absolutely, it would be god-awful. They went out to destroy that family. Yeah, I mean, they were even attacking her younger teenage daughter after the campaign. This went on for years. See, they were going after Sarah Palin years after the election was lost to Barack Hussein Obama. because they were afraid that Sarah Palin would be a senator or something, and they were always trying to wound Sarah Palin so she would not be political in the future. And maybe they were successful at it. They were suing her in Alaska, forcing her to resign. She couldn't even govern. And Sarah Palin's an amazing story. She had no family connections or money in her family. She didn't go to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, or any of the other snooty colleges. And she became governor of America's largest state, Alaska, with no connections politically or without wealth. It's absolutely an amazing story. And I remember when she announced the Democrats sent operatives to Alaska with cash money, trying, like the old days of the tabloids. The Democrats sent operatives to Alaska, Wasilla, and elsewhere to pay people cash money just to say something negative about Sarah Palin. They accused her of banning books. The Palin derangement syndrome equaled Trump derangement syndrome. It may not seem like that's a possible thing today, but believe me, it was. And yeah, it was pretty bad. So they go to Wasilla, and they found someone who said that when she was mayor of Wasilla, Alaska, that Sarah Palin banned books from the local school library, when she was mayor. Someone said it. I guess they gave him a couple bucks. I don't know. And that was so absurd because she was the mayor of Wasilla, Alaska. She wasn't on the school board, which has authority over the schools and curriculum. Total made-up story. The porno movie, and all of these things. It was terrible what they did to Sarah Palin. What normal family would be able to deal with that? Because when the left were so threatened, for a politician, she was young and good looking. She had a newborn baby. She's a true feminist. She didn't sit around and let her husband whore around with interns and hairdressers her whole life to get into politics. Oh, that's okay. Just don't get caught because I want to be president one day. Of course, I'm talking about Hillary. She did it all. And not only that, when she was, and now keep in mind, Alaska is our largest state, maybe not in population, but in land size. People don't realize how big Alaska is. She had a pretty nice sized family. She's governor of our largest state. And she was cooking dinner every night in the governor's mansion for the family. She let go of the servants because she didn't want to have servants. She took care of the family. Took the kids to school, cooked dinner, made lunch for them, and they hated her for it. See, a feminist is supposed to be like Hillary. You're supposed to let your husband go around and stick it into anything that he wants to, and screw people over for political power. That's a feminist, according to the Democrats. Hillary Clinton, the textbook example. Eleanor Roosevelt, another one. But, Sarah Palin, you can be a mom, you can be a wife, you can have a baby, and you can be governor. Oh, my gosh, they were in a panic. And you can be pretty. Oh, boy. It was terrible what they did. And now look what's happening. Poor Todd and Sarah Palin. When Todd filed for divorce in Anchorage, Alaska, he was dreading it because he knew what these disgusting creeps on the left would do. They're celebrating. They're not even divorced yet. He just filed. Maybe they could get back together. I don't know. But the media are going to do everything they can to destroy these people. All right, hey, listen, we'll take a break. When we get back, there's more to talk about. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
The Steve Kane Show sponsors, go to the sponsor page at stevekaneshow.com. Attention all Berries Vitamins customers. All the vitamins and supplements you know and love are available at Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers, and the prices are a fraction of what you were paying before. Stop in or call Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers is located a half
That wasn't her mistake. That made her nationally famous.
In the Penn Dutch Plaza. Speak with Al. He's the owner. Tell him what supplements you were looking for, and he will be more than happy to get you the supplements you need. Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers, 754-307-1655, 754-307-1655. 1655.
People put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons.
Oh,
My
great.
deductible is too high. I don't have insurance. My
Awesome.
schedule is too hectic. I just can't afford it. The time for excuses
Awesome, awesome,
is
Blossom.
over. Thanks to
Got some good
Lab Test
news.
Now of Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. PSA, only $34. Full cholesterol lipid panel,
Perfection.
$28. Complete thyroid panel, $49. Diabetic A1C test, only $27.
Oh, man. Hey, Fred. Hey, April.
All testing is always anonymous.
Yeah, what they did to Sarah Palin was disgusting, man.
Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes nutrient and environmental allergies, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any lab test now with Plantation, probably test for it. Any lab test now with Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072. 954-916-1072.
Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe, click the notification bell, like the video. If you're watching on a mobile device, close out the chat. You can subscribe, like, and click that notification bell. And then just reopen the chat. All right, yeah, welcome back, everyone. You know, every morning when I wake up now, I wake up well rested. Well rested. And it's because I have my pillow under my head. You know, I love my pillow. My wife got me a my pillow for Christmas, and it was an incredible gift. And I was very skeptical of the my pillow because, like all of you, I've heard about the my pillow forever and ever and ever. And I was like, come on, a pillow's a pillow. And I've tried them all. I've had bamboo pillows, the foam pillows, if you name it. So far as pillows, I've had it. And my wife got me that my pillow for Christmas. I slept on it that night, and I've slept on it every night since. In fact, when I go out of town, I take my pillow with me. I'm taking it on the Steve Kane cruise in November. And yeah, I'm going to pack it in my suitcase. I love my pillow. You know, that my pillow is everything they say it is and more. You know, one of the reasons that you sleep the whole night through with a my pillow is because your head fits perfectly in it, your head and neck. So you're not tossing and turning at night. That tossing and turning is what wakes you up and stops you from getting a rested night's sleep. I got my wife my pillow right after she gave me mine. I got one for my daughter. My daughter loves it too. In fact, I was telling you a couple weeks back when we went out of town for a couple of nights to go to Disney World, we were out in the car and my daughter said, "Hey, Dad, we forgot. We got to go back inside and get our my pillows." And we did. And we slept on our my pillows in the hotel room. Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. I got one for Steve because, you know, I wanted to get my pillow on the program as an advertiser, and I thought to do it, I got to get a my pillow under Steve's head. So I bought him with my money. I bought Steve a my pillow, and I gave it to him on a Friday, and I talked to him on the phone Saturday morning, and he told, "Wow, that my pillow is unbelievable." I mean, it's a great. And those of you that have my pillows, you know exactly what you're talking about. I give them as gifts. I gave my mom one for Mother's Day. She loves her my pillow. I even have the my pillow dog bed for our dog Nina. We're a total my pillow family. Now listen, when you use the promo code Kane, Kane, you can get 2 my pillows for the price of 1 at mypillow.com. Use that promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout. The 2-pack special, you get 2 premium my pillows for the price of 1 at mypillow.com when you use the promo code Kane. And a lot of people ask me which level do I have the firm. I have actually one of each. We have, you know, I use the most firm. My wife has the least firm, which is what she likes. I like the most firm. And my daughter, she also has the most firm, because when you order your my pillow right there at mypillow.com, you can choose least firm, medium fill, more fill, or the most firm. I prefer the most firm. That's just me, but to each his own. And you know, before the my pillow, I would sleep with like 3 or 4 pillows under my neck, under my head, some of them folded in half, like, you know what I'm talking about, like a taco. Not with the my pillow. So listen, go to mypillow.com Use that promo code KANE, Kane, and order 2 My Pillows. You'll get 2 for the price of 1. The My Pillow 2-pack special, they call it at mypillow.com. 2 My Pillows for the price of 1, but you've got to use the promo code KANE, Kane. All right, so the left are celebrating the divorce of Todd and Sarah Palin. Oh my goodness. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Yeah, this is Mike. But
Hey, Mike.
you're right. What they did to Sarah Palin was unconscionable. But you got to understand it from their point of view there. It was a dry
It is
run
awesome, Nick.
of what might happen to any conservative-leaning woman that might have aspirin.
Well, no, well, what happened with Sarah Palin, it wasn't just that she was a conservative woman. She was a conservative woman that people were sexually attracted to, so that helped. She's a good-looking woman. I mean, you look at these liberal women, look who they have. They got Hillary Clinton, Murkowski, and Tulsi Gabbard is so odd looking up close. We've got Candace Owens, we've got Sarah Palin, we've got Ivanka Trump, we've got the First Lady, so, and the thing about Sarah Palin, not only is she sexually attractive to men, she's not so attractive that women get offended by it, you know what I mean? And she's got a family, she raised her kids, she didn't let her husband be a whoremonger like Hillary. She was the true definition of what a modern American feminist woman is, and the left hated her for it.
Right, and that's the thing. Now, you mention these people, but I'm strictly speaking of people like Sarah Sanders, who's going to be governor of Arkansas, and
Well, she's another. Now I'll tell you this. Okay, now this is another one. Sarah Huckabee. Now people, she's not attractive like Sarah Palin or something, but Sarah Huckabee is a wife and a mom to how many kids? I don't know how many kids she has, and they're young, and she's doing it all too, and the left hate her for it. And the liberals will say that Sarah Huckabee and Sarah Palin shouldn't be out there in the workforce. These liberal will say they should be at home taking care of babies. That's what the left say about both of them.
I mean, yeah, that's what they say about both of them. But how many of these liberals have had a ton of babies and do that stuff, and they don't blame them for being
exactly
ambitious in this way,
When John McCain announced Sarah Palin, I was excited. I knew a little bit about her because I had seen her on Fox a few times, and she was on there on Fox talking about on more than one occasion. She would talk about things involving the energy business because Alaska's a big oil producing. It's like Texas, right? It's a big oil state, Alaska. So she would be on there talking about global warming and oil and drilling in Anwar and things. And I thought she did pretty good. And I saw her in some kind of debates with other pundits when she was governor of Alaska before she was connected to John McCain. And I knew her a little bit through that, and I was pretty impressed with her. I liked her, and I always liked her, and I thought she was fine during the campaign. She got a little weird after the campaign and and things like this because the celebrity and the fame and all of this. She looked like she was high on cocaine at that Trump rally. I'm not saying she was on cocaine, but she looked like she was stoned out of her mind on coke at that Trump rally with the funny shirt. But what they have done to the Palin family, I don't think many families could survive.
I don't think so either, and that's the thing. Like I said, it's a dry run. I mean, yeah, Sarah Huckabee isn't quite as good looking as Palin is, but they're going to try the same thing with her, too.
Yeah. No, the battery just went dead in the device. Absolutely. All right, Mike in Louisiana, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the radio. Good morning. Battery went dead on the device yesterday. Good morning. Yes. Come on. You got to have something. Yeah, hello. You're on the radio. Good morning. Caught you off guard.
I'm sorry. Another reason they hate Sarah Palin so much is that she, like Donald Trump, fights back. Unlike the Bushes,
yeah,
McCain,
yes,
the Romneys, she would not take any guff from the media. On top of everything else that you said, that's why they really hate her.
They hated her for everything. I mean, they were attacking Sarah Palin because she chose to give birth to her child with Down syndrome and didn't have an abortion because he was born with a disability. They were attacking her for that. Yeah, they were attacking her. You know, there's all this talk about Kamala Harris got away with saying Trump is retarded. They were calling her newborn baby retarded. And we're talking about how she made the wrong choice possibly by giving birth and not aborting a child that would be born with such a condition. That's what the left were saying.
That's the left for you. They just want the easy way out for anything.
Yeah, and when they found out that her teenage high school daughter was pregnant, I thought her daughter was going to have an abortion. I mean, not an abort. I mean, I don't mean like in a clinic. I mean like the body would have an abortion, like a miscarriage, like abortion, not like go to a clinic, because the stress that they put that pregnant teenage girl under during the campaign by slut shaming her, the media and the liberals, I've never seen anything like it.
All right, well, thanks for listening.
Well, hey, thanks for calling. Yeah, I mean, you know, Sarah Palin. I love Sarah Palin. I'll tell you, Todd Palin, pretty impressive guy, too. He was on a reality show. I can't remember what it was called. Dean Cain was on it, and the American Sniper who was murdered was on it. And it was kind of like it was with celebrities, and they were teamed up with either a military person or a cop or an athlete. Do you remember this show? I don't remember what it was called. And they did this Dean Cain was tied up with the American Sniper. I can't remember who Todd Palin was with. And it was a reality show, and Todd Palin was amazing. They did this thing that was like in battlefield conditions where they had to take a chest filled with ammo and supplies, and Todd Palin picked it up on his shoulder, ran. Dean Cain was like blown away. He's like, I'm Superman. I can't believe he did this. You know, they're a pretty impressive family who have been put through a lot. And they're starting to do it again. Listen to the smile and the voice of your mainstream media people when they talk about the Sarah Palin, Todd Palin divorce filing. All right, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back.
Kane Show is sponsored by Honorable Advisors, specializing in senior solutions. Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is approaching. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors and schedule your free no-obligation appointment to discuss all your Medicare options. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too.
His mother said he was Muslim when she registered him for school in Indonesia.
Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445.
I don't think he's Muslim.
954-977-9445.
I'll tell you when I get back.
9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FL-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All righty. We are back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We are live in Morning Drive, weekday mornings from 6 until 9 a.m., broadcasting live on the radio on 95.3 FM, as well as 1470 on the AM dial. We're on the air overnight, 7 nights a week, midnight till 6 a.m. on those stations and others. as well as you can listen to us on the TuneIn app and the iHeartRadio app. On the TuneIn and iHeartRadio app, search for us by our station call letters WWNN, 2 W's, 2 N's. Or if you're on a desktop listening, just go to stevekaneshow.com. You know, I work a lot. I know people think I don't because I'm on the air 3 hours a day. I do 2 shows a day. I do this show, do my podcast. I start working in the morning when it's dark outside. 4 a.m. I'm in front of the computer, and I usually stop or between 7 and 8 o'clock at night. Okay, and because there's a lot that goes into a radio show, you have no idea. There's a whole business side, and we're a small operation here, a 2-man band. And how do I do it? Because I take care of myself with hormone replacement pellets, courtesy of Dr. Mitch Matez. I got to tell you, I've been a patient of Dr. Matez for a few years now, and hormone replacement pellets will change your life for both men and women. You know, hormone replacement pellets are completely natural hormones. As you grow older, if you're 30 years of age or older, you have low testosterone, guys, you do. It's part of the aging process. And what hormone replacement pellets do is restore your hormones to the levels that they were when you were younger. I am 48 years old. I'm 48 years old. And I have more energy than I did when I was 25 or 28 years old because I take better care of myself. When I was 25, 28, I'd party and drink and do all these things that I don't do anymore. But I have the hormone levels of a 25-year-old at the age of 48. And that's how I'm able to go day and night and just be productive and enjoy life. Hormone replacement pellets are spectacular. They're tiny little pellets under the skin implanted in the back hip area. They'll restore your hormone levels to where they were when you were in your 20s, okay? It'll increase your sex drive, bring back that sexual desire that you lose as you grow older. Your energy levels will be like mine, which I think I have very good energy levels. My energy levels have... they've restored themselves to a level that I had not experienced in so long when I started hormone replacement pellet therapy. When I first started hormone replacement pellets, it was a transformation equal to when I had LASIK vision correction. When I had LASIK vision correction for the very first time without glasses or contacts, I could see the world, and my astigmatism was corrected, and I could see the world in a way that I'd never seen it before. And that's how hormone replacement pellets are. You know, if you're 30 or you're 90, call Dr. Mitch Matez. You know, as you grow older, you know, Dr. Matez has a lot of patients in their 30s. He has patients in their 80s. He has patients in their early 90s. You know, as you grow older, not only, you know, when you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, you know, hormone replacement pellets have incredible benefits for you, too. They'll bring back your sex drive, bring back your sexual desire, your ability to perform, to not only get an erection, but be able to maintain an erection. You know, as you grow older and you have memory and clarity issues, cognition issues, hormone replacement pellets will bring back that cognition that you are losing. Another thing, if you're suffering from hair loss, it will stop the hair loss in its tracks, and the hair that you have left will grow back thicker and fuller. In women, hormone replacement pellets do everything I just told you they'll do, except give you the ability to get and maintain an erection. You know, ladies, that you won't get that ability. But what you will get is the effects of menopause completely 100% reversed. The night sweats and the mood swings gone. Hair loss in women stopped. The hair you have left will grow back thicker and fuller. Your sex drive will be restored, and your ability to have sex too, because in women, what happens with women, they do lose sexual desire and suffer from vaginal dryness. Those problems completely gone and reversed 100% with hormone replacement pellets. Call Dr. Mitch Matez. Just go up there, talk to him. A completely free consultation for listeners of the Steve Kane Radio Show. 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. And online, hormonetherapybocaratone.com. 561-953-5490. And if you missed that, you can find Dr. Matez listed with all of our sponsors at stevekaneshow.com. All right, now One America News is getting on the radar of the mainstream media. It's about to blow up, One American News. It's about to become big and a thing, which I'm very happy about. And One American News made news yesterday. One American News has filed a $10 million defamation lawsuit against Rachel Maddow and MSNBC. Listen to this. This is huge story. This is in the Western Journal, which this article is all over the place. The article I'm going to read to you is from the Western Journal. You can find it at westernjournal.com. When MSNBC's Rachel Maddow branded One America News paid Russian propaganda back in July, One America News demanded a retraction. See, this is a big boogeyman with the left. Everyone's a Russian agent, that they disagree with. Since that hasn't worked, asking for a retraction, One American News, who they call a conservative network, I disagree with that. I don't think One American News is conservative. I think they're news, okay? And you're so accustomed to seeing liberal news, even with the garbage that's on Fox News Channel today, that when you see good, hard news reporting that is non-biased, it seems conservative because all the other news is so left-wing. I don't consider One American News conservative, but they call them a conservative network. The conservative network decided on something stronger. One American News Network filed a $10 million lawsuit on Monday, according to a news release from One American News' law firm, naming Rachel Maddow, MSNBC, NBC Universal, and their parent company Comcast as defendants for a segment in which Rachel Maddow called One American News really, literally Russian propaganda. One American News says that they knew this, that the defendants, that'd be Rachel Maddow, knew the statement was false and that they acted maliciously and recklessly in making it. The complaint alleges that the statement was meant to damage One American News' business and reputation because One American News, unlike MSNBC, presents a conservative viewpoint, and that One American News was targeted in retaliation for calling out defendants for their anti-competitive censorship and refusing to carry One American News on its cable system. The heart of the matter is Rachel Maddow's coverage of a July 22nd article. It goes on. Now here, this is... this is the second time I have known of the mainstream media going after One American News. Rachel Maddow on MSNBC and CNN, including Brian Stelter, has taken jabs at One American News. Brian Stelter just said they don't have any viewers, and they are lowly rated. They're not on all the cable systems. The cable companies are locking them out. And, And when I see CNN and MSNBC start attacking One American News, to me that tells me they're threatened by it. Now, sadly, I don't have One American News on my cable system any longer. I think I might get the app. You can download the app on Apple TV and subscribe to it. I think I'm going to do that. I've given up on cable news, but I think I might get that One American News app and start watching it again on my Apple TV. It's very difficult. We were talking about the internet censorship, because it's so biased. Fox News has been lost. I know they got conservatives at night and things like this, but the Fox News is not what it used to be. We talk about this a lot. And there is a consumer demand for the content of One America News, and the cable outlets are blocking it because they're threatened by it. If One America News gets on the Comcast cable outlets and is on, all these cable systems, they will become a ratings powerhouse. I know they're a little low budget and don't have top tier people on the air. It's because they don't have the budget that these big places have that are on all the cable networks. Just to be on a cable network generates tons of revenue. You receive revenue from every person that is a subscriber to that cable network. Okay? Yeah, you can. Nick in Baltimore told me the One American News app is only $4.99 a month. You can get it on. It's on Alexa. One American News is on Alexa. If they were, the problem they have is they don't have the budget to hire top tier people throughout the day. They do have some good people. That nighttime anchor, he's very good. They've got a couple of good people that are reporters over there. They've got Prosobic, who's spectacular, but some of the anchors they have on during the day are a little, low. But on energy and lack experience, but that's okay. They if they get picked up on some cable companies, so people can actually watch them. They do have an app you can download. I know one of our listeners in the UK, Neil in the UK. He lives in Northern Ireland, and he told me that he downloaded the One American News app somehow. I'm not sure how he did it in Northern Ireland, but he watches One American News in the UK to find out what's going on in America as opposed to what they get in CNN International over there in Europe. Okay? So, One American News really is the alternative. So many conservatives are always moaning and groaning about the liberal dominance of the mainstream media and the tech world. And you're right about that. But One American News is an alternative cable news outlet that really needs support. And just because it's not as exciting and they don't have famous people on there, I got news for you. I was talking about this on my podcast last night. Fox News Channel was on about 6 years before they became prominent like they are today. And they were boring. They were dry. Go back to the 94, 95, 96 years of Fox News Channel. If you can find some of the coverage, it was terminally boring and no one watched it. In fact, everybody had CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. And conservatives, do you know what was the political show of record until 2000? Do you know what it was? The 2000 recounts when Fox News blew up. But the political show of record on cable news was Chris Matthews' Hardball, liberals and conservatives. MSNBC, as crazy as this sounds, before the 2000 recount, was the go-to place for people that followed politics, even conservatives. And then the 2000 recount happened, and then Fox News exploded and became super big, and they did change a lot of things up so far as visuals and entertainment value. But Fox News Channel was as dry as you see One American News a lot of times right now until they started generating a lot of revenue. All right, we'll take our last break of the first hour, 48 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. By the way, Alexa, play WWNN Radio. There you go. All right. Oh, I forgot. Alexa, volume 7. All right, we'll break and be right back.
Suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
Plus tax tag title and includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 9/10/19. Get super savings
Oh, that's
from
awesome.
over 1,500 Toyotas during our 2020 Supra sales event at Toyota of Hollywood. Toyota of Hollywood has one of the largest selections of 2020 Supra launch editions in the country. Plus, we're selling 2019 Toyotas at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $18,775. A pre-owned
Steve Kane
2019
Show.
Corolla LE, not $22,000,
Yeah, go on.
$13,775. Get super savings during our 2020 Supra sales event at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is Steve Kane with an exciting announcement from Tavolino's. Tavolino's is now open for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2:45. A gourmet menu including dishes like Nana's breakfast sandwich, candied bacon with avocado and aged cheddar cheese, and vine rape and tomatoes will make your mouth water. Or how about the steak and eggs Benedict, filet mignon poached on an organic egg, toasted with English muffin, peppercorn sauce, hollandaise, and Roasted potatoes will make your mouth water. Or try Delanote's chicken and waffles, crispy buttermilk chicken aged with cheddar cheese, Brussels sprouts, and candied bacon. It is a taste delight you will enjoy every weekend at Tavolino's. To make reservations, call Tavolino's for either the Saturday or Sunday brunch, 954-509-0046. You're going to love this restaurant, and tell them Steve Kane sent you. Denture wearers, are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your dentures will fall out while you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants, get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000, but at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at brightondentalcare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on
All righty. Welcome, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. By the way, Brighton Dental. Dr. Gupta over there at Brighton Dental has been a listener of the Steve Kane Show longer than I have been a part of it, and that's a long time, back in the 80s, when the Steve Kane Show first came to South Florida from Central Florida. And, we talk in the recorded commercial there about the incredible deal for those of you who are denture wearers on the implants, but there are similar savings on all of the Brighton Dental procedures. They do all types of dentistry. Steve took his wife Lori over there the other day. She's having some cavities filled or something. They do everything. And there's a similar savings on all of their services over there. So give Brighton Dental a call. Make them your dentist. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. Free consultation and free second opinion. If you've gone to a dentist and they say you need this or that, call Brighton Dental. They'll give you a free second opinion on whether you really need that dental procedure or not. Brighton Dental, 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633. All right, Nick in Baltimore, you're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, Brian, good morning.
Hey.
I wanted to point out, when you do the Alexa thing, you have to say, with mine, you just gave me EWTN, the Catholic channel.
Oh, the Catholic channel.
WNN on iHeartRadio.
Oh, really? On mine, I don't have to do that. Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, mine doesn't do that. By the way, you can also, Alexa, play the Brian Craig Show podcast. You can also do that. So what do you think about, One American News? You sent me that article on that lawsuit by One American News yesterday. That's how I found it.
That's great.
Yeah.
They need to be sued.
Well, what they really need is they need to get on these cable systems. The mainstream media are keeping them off cable outlets.
Come on now, because in order to not, pay the $10 million, they're gonna they'll cut it. Move on.
My prediction is if One American News got picked up by Comcast, in 5 years they'd be the #1 name in cable news. I believe they would, because they need to hire. Like I would bring in Eric Bolling and put him on at 5 against the 5 on Fox. Bill.
Janine too.
I think Judge Janine, I would put her on at 8:00 at night. I mean, I would, the guy that owns One American News, I saw him on radio interview with Tim Conway Jr., who's the son of Tim Conway, the comedian, a year or two ago, and the guy that owns One American News is he's trying to take California back for Americans, because it's occupied territory. He would make it the number. His goal is to make them number one in cable news, and he would do it. And I don't know why Eric Bolling's not on there now. He's doing that online thing with Mark Levin. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think they're going to go over there. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And something people don't know probably. The president's coming to Baltimore on Thursday.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
A Republican retreat from Thursday to Sunday, and he's coming in Thursday. So I got on the mayor's website, this mental defective mayor we have, graduate of the city council again.
Yeah.
Fourth mayor, failed mayor, Democrat mayor. And I wrote on it, I said, Mr. Mayor, what are you doing to protect our president? I would keep the protest. They're running public service ads on the stations here telling people where to protest. It's all paid by George Soros.
Yeah.
So I wrote on the mayor's Facebook page very quickly, and I said, what are you doing to protect the president? I would keep the protesters away from the venue.
Absolutely.
Attacked by a couple of people on there.
It doesn't surprise me, and I've noticed how Elijah Cummings has gone silent in the last couple. He was very vocal for a day or two, and I don't know what Elijah Cummings is up to, but there's something going on that makes him not really want to be out there talking too much about the president and the comments. And Scott Pressler from Gays for Trump is becoming very prominent in the news constantly for his work in Baltimore, picking up the garbage. Yeah, Twitter verified Scott Pressler, gave him the blue check mark. I was very surprised at that. Yeah. All right, Nick. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, Brian, but what I'm happy about, and I promise I'll hang up. What I'm happy about is this is very strategic on the part of the president. He's going to break the Democrat hold on this city because we're 40 miles from D.C. All right?
Yeah.
He's going to flip Baltimore because a lot of blacks are coming over.
That's right. They're really worried about that. Well, you know what happens, Nick? No, I believe it. Well, listen, a lot of these communities that are typical Democrat, like, the city of Baltimore, Trump may not win these cities, or maybe he will, but he may not. But what Trump has done is made a lot of these Democrat safe groups, blacks, gays, Latinos, and even cities like Baltimore competitive, where the Democrats have to waste time, assets, and money to try to save and hold on to them. And there's so many things that are competitive today, like you're talking about in Baltimore, or like Pennsylvania is competitive, that in Michigan, that never were competitive before. The Democrats are not used to that, and they have to spend a lot of money and time on places that they haven't even visited in decades. And that in itself is a very strong election tactic. I hope things turn out well in North Carolina after the rally last night, because
Get the seed.
Well, I don't know enough about these special races in North Carolina. Okay, I mean, I know what you know. I don't, but the media are calling it a bellwether for the 2020 election. Which, and when I hear them call North Carolina a bellwether, that means if Trump loses, we're going to say this is what the 2020 election cycle is going to look like. If Trump wins in North Carolina, oh well, it was much expected. But I noticed this morning they're calling it a bellwether test for Trump. In North Carolina. Yeah.
And everybody knows this, Rich. Everybody knows.
Make sure you subscribe, guys.
Trump doesn't lose.
No. Even when you think he lost, he's won. All right, Nick. Appreciate the call. Nick's always got good stuff from Baltimore. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. Yes. All right. Hey, Mike in New York. What's up? You're on the air.
That's too much. I was waiting all day yesterday, so Trump was rallying. So you heard Fox News talking about Trump,
Yeah.
Carolina. So you put him on at 7 o'clock, and Martha McCallum's on, and he's on the right. They don't even have the words up. I don't know how to put the words up. If you're deaf, And Martha McCallum's got all these liberals on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, someone said go on the computer and you have to go on Trump's Facebook page. So I'm listening to a computer that you really can't hear it. You don't get to see.
Well, I watched the rally on Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube on my TV in the living room, on the Apple TV. But yeah, I noticed. I know that they do that. Fox News, they won't carry the. This is the only president we've had where the national media won't carry the president speaking. And Obama, every time Obama spoke, the press was there, carrying it live.
And just a quote, I know he's busy. My father's in Florida. He doesn't get OAN. I said, well, put on the OAN channel because that girl is great, the blonde girl. I never saw the OAN channel because in New York, no one heard of it.
Yeah.
I told my father, put on Fox News. It's going to be great. So he's watching. Instead of watching the football game, he turns on Fox News. And for an hour, Mark McCallum's on the whole time. They don't even go to him. I mean, at least go back and forth.
Yeah, and they tell you that they tell you that they're monitoring it, and if anything newsworthy is said by Donald Trump, they'll cut to it. So they're going to decide what you're exposed to from the Trump speech. All right, Mike in New York, take care, man. Thanks for the call. It's 7:00 in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Talk 1470 is WWN in Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about Dr. Mitch Matez at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. He's my anti-aging doctor. That's right, I have an anti-aging doctor now. This year, I turned 45, and I was starting to slow down a bit. I met with Dr. Matez, and he found that my testosterone level was low. We men begin losing our testosterone starting at age 30, and it goes down every year after that. Dr. Matez told me I was approaching the beginning of andropause. That's the male equivalent of menopause. I began bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. They're tiny little pellets inserted under my skin. And now my testosterone levels are being restored to where they were when I was 20.
Watch C-SPAN, if you want to go to sleep.
Dr. Matez, I have more energy, I feel better, I look better, my love life, it's better, and my wife, she's thanking Dr. Matez too. Bioidentical hormone pellet therapy isn't just for men, it works wonders for women by reversing the symptoms of menopause, like the night sweats and the mood swings, men and women. You don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. It works for me, and it'll work for you too. He's located in Boca, and his website is hormonetherapybocaraton.com. Or give him a call, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. And tell him Brian Craig sent you.
This segment of the Steve Kane Show is brought to you by I Will Advisors. Seniors, medical open enrollment is approaching. Do you know what Medicare options are available to you? Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080, and she will answer all your Medicare questions. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Denture wearers, are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your dentures will fall out while you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants, get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000, but at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at brightondentalcare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans. If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. If you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive, 6 till 9 a.m. weekdays, and overnights, midnight till 6 a.m.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 has begun. It's 7 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday morning, September 10th, 2019. My name is Brian Craig. Oh, boy, lots of things going on. In the first hour, we talked about the horrible divorce filing by Todd Palin from Sarah Palin. One American News suing Rachel Maddow for $10 million. So much going on, so much to talk about. I tell you, there's a lot of negative reporting today. There's a big article in Politico, and it's everywhere else. You may have seen it. If you haven't, you certainly will. Jerry Falwell Jr., they're going after him. When President Trump was running in 2016, I was with President Trump back in 2012 when he was just talking about running. I've been a supporter of his for a long time. I mean, Donald Trump's amazing. When I watched that rally last night, it's still hard for me to believe that Donald Trump is the president of the United States. It's like, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, he's been a celebrity for so long, and he's doing such a great job. But during the campaign, there were a couple of moments that I got nervous about. You always got to be nervous. You never know, But when that Access Hollywood tape came out with Billy Bush, I thought, oh man, we're in trouble now. I thought that was going to hurt, and it didn't. It looked like it might for a few days, right? With that creep Paul. By the way, why do you guys think Paul Ryan really left as Speaker of the House? I saw his name come up yesterday. Why do you think he really left? Who leaves that job? That's the greatest job in Washington, Speaker of the House. But anyway, I know. But that Access Hollywood scandal, that made me a little nervous. And, of course, that was probably found out through the fake FISA, or not the fake, the illegal FISA spying on Trump Tower. That's how I believe that was found out about. And then there was another moment, Caitlyn Jenner, the former Olympian, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, when Donald Trump was in an interview and some reporters said, hey, can Caitlyn Jenner use the ladies' room at Trump Tower? And he said, yes. Donald Trump, I thought, oh boy. And what made me nervous were the Christian voters. Christian voters I've seen in past elections, they sometimes are very hardcore about who they'll vote for and would rather lose an election than violate their principles. And Jerry Falwell Jr. was absolutely a big savior to this country when he came out with the huge endorsement of Donald Trump for president of the United States. And we had the Christian vote locked up with that. Because, Mitt Romney's a creep. But before we knew he was a creep, and he was running against Barack Obama in 2012, millions of Christians would not vote for Mitt Romney. And there were many in Florida because he's Mormon. And that's crazy not to vote for someone because they're Mormon over someone like Barack Hussein Obama. It was insane to me. In the general election, in a primary, okay, whatever. But, in the general election, that was insane to me. And the fact that he had had the Access Hollywood tape out, the comments about Caitlyn Jenner, I thought the Christians, they're just, and of course, married 3 times, we're going to lose the Christians, and they're a very important part of the Republican vote. And Jerry Falwell Jr. came out and endorsed the president, and well, saved the country by getting the Christians behind him. And now they're going out to destroy him. Earlier in the week, it may have been yesterday, because earlier in the week would be Monday. It may have been yesterday's show. We're on the air so much. The Steve Kane show is on the air over 1,200 hours a month. So sometimes I can't remember what day and what week we talked about this or that. But I think this was on yesterday's show. We were talking about how the Democrats are digging up all kinds of dirt on Trump. They've been doing all this opposition research. I think this Jerry Falwell story in Politico today is part of that. And they've got Jerry Falwell Jr.'s picture, and they got some quotes. It's a dictatorship. Fear is probably his most powerful weapon. I feel like I'm betraying them in some way, but someone's got to tell the freaking truth. More than 24 current and former Liberty University officials describe a culture of fear and self-dealing at the largest Christian college in the world. I don't know what self-dealing is. What's self-dealing? I don't know what that is. And they've got all kinds of stuff. I saw one thing today that said that he was talking about his sex life to people there. I don't know if any of these things are true or not. But what the left are trying to do to Jerry Falwell Jr. is to get him to step down as the head of Liberty University and plug someone else in who may be more of a radical Christian, who may not endorse the president of the United States. They're trying to divide the Christians of this country as we move into an election season. Okay? And all these things about Jerry Falwell Jr., I don't care about any of them. I'm a Christian Catholic. I don't concern myself with Liberty University. I'm glad they endorsed the president. And when Jerry Falwell Jr. endorsed President Trump in 2016, it gave the okay for a lot of other evangelicals around the country to do the same that may not, because he was liberal on some social issues and had been married 3 times and such, So they're trying to take Jerry Falwell out of the leadership of Liberty University. And this story, which is a very long story in Politico, and it is not helpful to him. I don't think he should stand up to him. Liberals don't understand conservatives, and they don't understand Christians. They, like, for example, this divorce filing by Todd Palin from Sarah Palin yesterday in Anchorage. What you're going to hear from a lot of liberals today is this will sound familiar. You'll probably hear it 10,000 times today. There goes your family values. So much for family values. There'll be all kinds of variations of sarcastic comments with family values in the sentence. The thing about being there was only one man who never sinned, and that was Jesus. Okay? All of us are sinners. Christians do not expect Christians to be saints without sin. But liberals think that Christians have an expectation of sin-free perfection from Christians. And that's just not the case. At Church by the Glades, which I'm not at Church by the Glades is a little weird for me. I know it's a very popular church around here. I've seen online. I've never been to Church by the Glades. I've seen some of their sermons online. We've talked about it. It's different. It's different. It's a young hipster kind of church, bringing in young people. And at Church by the Glades, they have I like what Church by the do we have any Church by the Glades people in the audience? I know we do. I mean, every time I'm at a traffic light, it seems there's a car in front of me with a Church by the Glades bumper sticker on it. And I like the pastor over there at Church by the Glades. When I went to see Star Wars Rogue One, and the pastor was coming out of the theater from Church by the Glades with his son and some people, I guess, from the church. And I was over at Tate's Comics once on, I think it was Free Comic Book Day, and I saw the pastor from Church by the Glades with his son at Tate's Comics over there. So, so I got a lot in common with the pastor over there at Church by the Glades. But anyway, at Church by the Glades, they've got I guess it's a tagline or a phrase that they use what is it exactly about not perfect people? Let me see if I can find it online, because I want to get this quote right. hold on here. Church by the Glades. Let's see here. Church by the. I know we got Church by the Glades people. What is that they say over there about not perfect people? Let me see if I can find it on the. I don't see it on the website. There's a phrase they use. There are no perfect people. Some take on that. I can't find it. I'm on the Church by the Glades website. I thought it would be right there at the top. It's kind of like there no perfect people allowed. Okay, that's what. Thank you. We got Church by the Glades people in the chat. Yeah, they say no perfect people allowed. And non-Christians wouldn't get that. No perfect people allowed, because there was only one person who was perfect, Jesus. No one else is perfect. No Christian, from the Pope to the pastor to me, anyone who's a Christian. None of us are perfect. We are all sinners. And that's just the way it is. And no perfect people allowed. I think that's a pretty interesting thing. And the left don't get that. Okay? So, someone like Jerry Falwell Jr., I don't know if what they're saying about him is true. I give him the benefit of the doubt, because he has grown up his entire life as the son of Jerry Falwell Sr. under a microscope. Okay? So, and I don't trust the liberal reporting on Jerry Falwell Jr. But let's say it's all true. I'm not accepting that. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Innocent until proven guilty in America. But if it's all true, so what? Like they say at Church by the Glades, no perfect people allowed at church. And the liberals don't understand that. They think that we have an expectation that if you are a Christian, that you are to be a perfect person who is free of sin. They don't get it. Even the liberals who claim to be Christians, they don't get it. Okay? So if everything they're saying about Jerry Falwell Jr. is true, and I'm not saying it is, if he went out and at Liberty University and said, it's all true, please forgive me, I asked Jesus to forgive my sins, I ask those of you here to forgive me, we would forgive him, and boom, boom, boom. That's how it works. You know, Pastor Bob Coy from Calvary Chapel, if you know, we don't know all the details of what have happened over there. I've heard a lot of rumors from people over there, you know, and things like this. But those of you that know about the fall of Bob Coy, who before Church by the Glades was the big, you know, mega church guy here, although I think Church by the Glades would have been number one even if Bob Coy hadn't fallen, because, I mean, what they do over at Church by the Glades is so different, it makes Calvary Chapel look like an Oral Roberts sermon, if you know what I mean. But anyway, if Bob Coy appeared anywhere in any church, in Calvary Chapel or on the side of the road, standing up in the bed of a pickup truck and said, I have sinned, please forgive me, I am coming back and becoming a pastor again, and I'm starting over, forgive me, Jesus, forgive me, people that have been members of it. That's it. That's how it works in Christianity. And yeah, that's how it works. So go out there with all of your attacks on Jerry Falwell Jr. They want to wound Jerry Falwell Jr. because he is so important as a Christian leader as we come into this election cycle, not just for President Trump, but in congressional races too. Okay, so they want to destroy Jerry Falwell Jr., and they're going to make a good show of it. This article in Politico is a huge article and very detailed and things like this. And, you know, I don't have a lot of respect for people that are current and former employees of a Christian organization and trashing the boss like that. I don't know. You know, it doesn't seem, you know, and the ones that are still there, it doesn't seem like the Christian way to be to me. But, you know, who knows? All right, we'll take our first break of the second hour. My name is Brian. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Segment of The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by I Will Advisors. Seniors, medical open enrollment is approaching. Do you know what Medicare options are available to you? Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080, and she will answer all your Medicare questions.
Yeah, no perfect people allowed. Thank you, Debbie.
954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
People put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons. My deductible is too high. I don't have insurance. My schedule is
Oh,
too
man.
hectic. I just can't afford it. The
Awesome.
time for excuses is over. Thanks to Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, where they guarantee
My
the
wife
lowest prices
recommended
on all of
I
their
do
thousands of
something,
lab tests.
and I was like skeptical of doing it, and it
Full
just turned out to be a
cholesterol
great
lipid
decision.
panel,
My wife
28
always has
bucks.
great.
Complete
My wife's
thyroid
always
panel,
right.
$49.
She's always right.
Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less. Most results in 24 to 48 hours.
Anybody know what
Allergy
self-dealing
testing,
means?
Which includes micronutrient and environmental allergens, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any Lab Test Now with Plantation probably test for it. Any Lab Test Now with Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072, 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health.
Steve Kane
with
Show.
Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, 954-916-1072.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance
It's absolutely
of preventative
amazing.
foot care and has provided coverage.
We should all listen to our
for those
wives.
who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware that as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesouleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Something in our personal life I don't want to tell you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show
But,
on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. It seems not a day that goes by that I don't get a question about this. Now, if you watch on the live video streams, you'll see I have a back scratcher in my hand all the time. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't hear from listeners asking me why I always have a back scratcher in my hand. I've explained this so many times, but I'll tell you again quickly. When I'm the studio, I'm running the board and answering the phones and doing everything, and I use the back scratcher to reach some of the buttons without having to lean forward, because if I lean forward, I'm off mic. Like I'm talking right now, but if I go over here to hit something, I'm off mic and then I'm back on mic. And with the back scratcher, I can reach buttons around the entire control room here without having to lean forward and be off mic like this. So when I'm answering the phones or hitting the delay or doing something, okay, that's why I have a back scratcher. Oh boy, like right now, I'm going to use the back scratcher to turn a phone to hit the phone board without having to lean off. Steve wears a headset microphone, so he can move and walk and dance and do everything. I don't use a headset microphone, so I can't do that. That's why I've got the back scratcher, people. All right, Richie, the bus driver, you are on the air.
I just got hit in the head with a back scratcher when you clicked on.
Yeah, well, we have a great engineer that built the studio, okay? And our engineer is an old-time radio guy from the 70s, but he's about 6'6", so he has a longer reach than I do. So he built the studio for someone that's about 6'6", and I'm only 5'7", so.
Something to ask you real quick and then get into your topic. I listened yesterday afterwards, and
Greg, one called up. I was glad to hear from him. Steve counts on him as being his sports guru. I'm not tapping my
Guru, yeah.
I used to be like number one caller in South Florida before I started with you guys on sports with the Dolphins. I have a good friend I hung out with. He's a beat writer for the Miami Dolphins. We're personal friends. I mean, I go way back.
Yeah.
Football, but Steve I never tapped into that. I mean, I'm telling you the truth.
You know, a lot of there are listeners who ask. I get questions about you a lot, Richie. People accuse you of being Richie from Boar's Head that calls QAM all the time, and you say that's not you.
That's not me. I was the other Richie, and they knew me. Armando Salguero is a personal friend of mine. He's the beat writer for the Herald for the Dolphins.
Uh-huh.
I also know that the head of Telemundo Sports Department. I was involved with calling these guys all the time.
Yeah.
Discussing football. So
you know, Steve. Steve is he bets on the football, and Steve is very good because Steve does on his own, but I guess he's insecure about it. Steve makes these bets that I didn't even know you could bet. He bets every year on who's going to win the Super Bowl before the season starts, and that's how he really clean. And Steve, Steve Kane. That's what we're talking about. He's like a professional gambler. I was at the track one day with Steve, and I got the racing program, and I just I place a bet on a horse because I like the name. I don't know what all this stuff means. And Steve went through with me through the program at the racetrack, and he was reading it like some Egyptologist reads hieroglyphics off the pyramids. I mean, it was like I've never seen anything like it.
For horse racing people, it's like a Bible.
Oh man, I've never seen anything like it. Yeah.
Neil Rogers is a better handicapper than any of them.
Yeah.
Racetrack.
Yeah. I know. Last time I saw Neil Rogers alive was at the track. He was at the track, Pompano Park.
So and Steve doesn't realize it, but I know football like.
Do you really? Yeah, that's great. I did not know that.
Here's the deal. With what you talked about earlier.
Oh,
American news. To me, it's not a problem of their personality on TV. It's their format. To me, if Fox had a Shepard Smith type personality on all day long, I would turn it off after 15, 20 minutes. And that's what American news does. They keep on putting different people reading the same news all day long. I like the conversation between people. I like the guests that they bring in where they have the conversations, the pundits. And that's what they don't have. They have some reading the news.
Well, if I were, One American News, they hire people that work literally for nothing, basically interns. I mean, you can tell even the clothes they wear look like they bought these suits at Walmart sometimes, right, on the guys? They need to bring in, like, for example, Court TV is back. And Court TV has very talented people on there. And what they do is they hire people from the local news. If you go to QVC and these home shopping networks, my wife's, we watch QVC, David Venerable. Yeah, In the Kitchen with David and all these shows. Yeah, we watch it all day on Sunday. In the Kitchen with David, he's awesome, David Venable. But these people on QVC, like In the Kitchen with David, even that blonde girl that's on with him, or the Court TV people, they were all hired from local news. Because in local news, you get a lot of good TV experience on the fly. And what American News should do is go to small markets around the country and hire some experienced news people from small markets that would like some national experience and hire them over at One American News. They've got to stop bringing on these inexperienced interns, and that's their problem.
I believe that he came from either the weather or a small...
He was a local news guy, weather or sports or something, yeah.
They're all like that. I mean, and you're right. But I like the format where they have panel discussions.
Well, you can do that. If you bring in people from local news, they can rap and do exactly what you're talking about. And, even Shepard Smith, who's despicable as a liberal, but Shepard Smith was a local news beat reporter here in Miami, who I liked him back in those days, did very well. So, they need to stop hiring these college interns and putting them on the air. They're terrible.
Oh, and as for that lawsuit, listen, if the President of the United States could call CNN and NBS fake news and they call him racist and everything else, they're not gonna be successful. All they need is one liberal judge who will just.
Well, the One America News lawsuit against Rachel Maddow and MSNBC and Comcast, they don't expect to win that. What they're the cable companies are locking them out, and what they're trying to do is get Comcast and these other companies to be forced to carry them.
Relevant.
Yes. Well, they will. But Richie, if they get on these cable outlets, they'll have money, and they can hire people. One American News is funded by one millionaire out of his own pocket every day. It's a charity.
Said yesterday too. I did that YouTube deal, and I watched the president last.
Oh, on Right Side Broadcasting.
Because they give you the whole thing. They show the crowd. I mean, it really.
Yeah, and you probably like the girls they have on there too. Yeah, I figured. I do, Richie. That's Richie. I know Richie. That's what Richie's all about. You got to have pretty girls on there. So One American News, get some pretty girls, and Richie will come over. All right, 32 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Steve Kane. Talk 1470. WNN.
This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about Dr. Mitch Matez at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. He's my anti-aging doctor. That's right, I have an anti-aging doctor now. This year, I turned 45, and I was starting to slow down a bit. I met with Dr. Matez, and he found that my testosterone level was low. We men begin losing our testosterone starting at age 30, and it goes down every year after that. Dr. Matez told me I was approaching the beginning of andropause. That's the male equivalent of menopause. I began bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. They're tiny little pellets inserted under my skin. And now my testosterone levels are being restored to where they were when I was 25 years old. Thanks to Dr. Matez, I have more energy, I feel better, I look better, my love life, it's better, and my wife, she's thanking Dr. Matez too.
I was going to read some of this Jerry Falwell story, and I lost my place where I wanted to read up.
Wonders for women by reversing the symptoms of menopause, like the night sweats and the mood swings. Men and women, you don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. It works for me, and it'll work for you too. He's located in Boca, and his website is hormonetherapybocaraton.com. Or give him a call, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. And tell him Brian Craig sent you.
If you're planning on making changes to your Medicare plan or prescription drug plan, now is the time to do it. I want you to meet my insurance agent, Debbie, from I Will Advisors. Debbie, you know me, I don't know anything about this insurance thing. That's why I'm glad to have you as an agent. Why is it important people call you now?
Well, open enrollment begins October 15th through December 7th, and it's the one time a year where Medicare allows you to make changes to your Medicare Advantage plans or your prescription drug plans. We can start discussing the new options available to you anytime after October 1st.
Well, I've got buttons way over here that I can reach with the back scratcher, right? That I got to go over here to hit when I'm on the air. Not many people are on the air and running all the controls. So when they, I was just joking about the guy being 6'6". I mean, he is 6'6", but this is not a studio. This is the control room where all the controls are. And not many people are on the air when doing a talk radio show and running the whole studio all the time too, you know? So that's another reason I have to do it that way. It's not a slow news day. Are you kidding?
With Debbie, and give her a call. When you do, be sure to tell her Steve Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on.
All righty. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. So I'm reading this article during the break here a little bit in Politico, going after Jerry Falwell Jr. They're trying to, Jerry Falwell Jr. is probably, he's not a pastor, is he? He just runs the school, right? I don't know what his whole deal is. But Jerry Falwell Jr. is probably the top Christian leader in America today, I would say. So they want to wound him and get him removed before the election. This is in Politico. In interviews over the past 8 months, they say they've talked to current and past employees at Liberty University, none of which I can see in this story who went on the record. I love this scam that the press have. All sources are confidential. They don't have to reveal their sources, and they've got confidential sources. Oh, how convenient. In interviews over the past 8 months, this is in Politico, these are their unnamed sources, depicted how Falwell and his wife Becky consolidated power at Liberty University, and how Falwell presides over a culture of self-dealing. Self-dealing, I believe, is when you are the head of a company, an organization or something, and you're using the resources to benefit yourself inappropriately. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I think that's what it sounds like it means. How Falwell presides over a culture of self-dealing, directing university resources into projects and real estate deals in which his friends and family have stood to make personal financial gains. Among the previously unreported revelations are Falwell's decision to hire his son's company to manage a shopping center owned by the university, Falwell's advocacy for loans given by the university to his friends, and Falwell's awarding university contracts to businesses owned by his friends. Okay. The thing with religious institutions, and Liberty University is one of those, they run into a lot of financial difficulties because they become so large. We were talking about Jim Baker the other day. Remember all the scandals with Jim Baker back in the late 80s, mid-late 80s? When Jim Baker got out of prison, I saw him on an interview. I love Jim Baker. He's a televangelist again. If Jim Baker was preaching at a local church, I'd go. I'd go see Jim Baker, meet Jim Baker. I've seen him on TV a few times, pretty impressive. But I saw him on an interview when he first got out of prison, and he talked about what led to the financial scandals at, what was it, Heritage USA? Is that what it was? And Jerry Falwell Sr. was involved in that. Remember Jerry Falwell Sr. came in, tried to bail the place out, and went down the water slide in a suit. Remember that? I remember all that stuff. But he said that we had such a large overhead. At the time, he said, I think it was $4 million. It might have been 14, but he said we had to make $4 million a month just to break even and pay the light bill. And when these organizations that are religious in nature become so large, they can't just rely on the collections plate, and they do get involved in outside businesses. And and when most people do business, they do business with friends or people referred by friends. That's how business is done. What else do they got in here? We're not a school. We are a real estate hedge fund, said a senior university official who's unnamed with inside knowledge of Liberty University's finances. We're not educating. We're buying real estate every year and taking students' money to do it. I would imagine that real estate is used as an income source for Liberty University. I mean, if you have a shopping center, what's a shopping center bring you? Rent every month. So I don't know. If they don't have any named sources, it looks like what it is. An attempt to wound him because they don't want him out there rallying Christians behind Donald Trump. This is all about Donald Trump. If Jerry Falwell Jr. had never endorsed Trump, this story would not be out there today. See, that's what they do. Anyone who's a Trump supporter, they go after. Remember Judge Jeanine? They're after her. She says they're after her now. Eric Bolling, Bill O'Reilly, Roger Ailes. If you're a national person who is an influencer supporting Donald Trump, they go out to destroy you. Jerry Falwell Jr. is just their latest target. And they said he was talking about his sex life in front of employees. You know, sex is talked about a lot in church-like situations. So I don't know if he was doing that. And if he was, I don't know if it was an inappropriate context. You know, there was a very bizarre story. I was talking about this on my podcast over the weekend. There is I've never heard of this happening before. A black man in Hollywood has got in major hot water for using the N-word. And, you know, typically, black people are allowed to use the N-word, right? Look at hip-hop, look at rap, right? But this black man got in trouble for using the N-word. And, you know, context is everything. You know, it's one thing if you run around calling people, you know, the N-word. It's another thing if you're talking about, and I'll explain how this relates to Jerry Falwell Jr. And what had happened is he's a black television writer in Hollywood, writes for a lot of television shows, and he was a writer for CBS All Access on the new Star Trek show, Star Trek Discovery, which is a disgrace. I can't, but anyway, I won't start talking about Star Trek. Steve will kill me. And he was in the writer's room. This was recent. He wrote a whole article in the New York Times about this. It was published over the weekend, I saw it. And he was in the writer's room of Star Trek Discovery and was talking to the other writers in the room about a discussion he had with a racist LA cop. And and he was quoting the police officer, the white racist. And this white racist police officer told this black writer, according to him, that I stop all patties in N-word neighborhoods, and I stop all N-words in patty neighborhoods. Now, I guess a patty's like a white guy, I guess. But he didn't say the N-word. He said the actual word. And being a black guy, he didn't think there was any problem with it. And he was just quoting someone. And he gets a call from Human Resources, and they told him he cannot use the N-word in the writer's room. And his response was, I am the N-word in the writer's room, which I guess, was he the only black writer in the room? I don't know. And, you know, and I know. And they said, no, he said, I'm black. I can't, you know, he says, no, even though you're African-American, you cannot use the N-word. He says you can write it on a piece of paper. You can write it in a script, which means he could write it in a script for an actor to say, but he cannot verbalize it in the writer's room. And what had happened was one of the writers in the writer's room reported him to Human Resources for using the N-word, even though he's a black guy. Isn't that crazy? To me, it's the first recorded instance of a black man getting in trouble for using the N-word. And, you know, so we have this culture now, this woke culture, they call it, of liberals, where they report to authorities inappropriate speech and language, like they used to do in the Soviet Union. But anyway, he wasn't going around the writer's room calling people the N-word. He was quoting a racist police officer, and I'm assuming it had something to do with script writing, and used the N-word quoting someone. That's an appropriate context. You know, Jerry Falwell Jr. discussing his sex life in a Christian situation can be appropriate if you're talking about sexual morality in a marriage. There are appropriate context for a religious leader to discuss their personal sex life. You know, and there are inappropriate ways as well that are endless. But just because he was talking about his personal sex life at Liberty University does not mean it was in an inappropriate context. Just like this black writer used the N-word in a context that was fine, but he was in all kinds of trouble, you know. So, you know, we got to stand behind Jerry Falwell Jr. He is very important and key to the president. Now, if Jerry Falwell Jr. falls, Donald Trump's still going to win the election. But it's another example of the establishment and the left and the mainstream media, which Politico is a part of. They have the big article that take down any major national influencer who supports Trump. And I went through them. Roger Ailes, Bill O'Reilly. They're after Judge Jeanine, okay? Eric Bolling, right? Now Jerry Falwell Jr., and I'm sure there are some others as well that I just have forgotten off the top of my head. That's what they do, and he's the top Christian influencer right now. So they're after him, and they're after him big time. All right, it's 45 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Denture wearers, are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your dentures will fall out while you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants, get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000. But at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,000.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I got to get this story on...
the 2 implants plus your lower denture.
What was the story?
And live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at BrightonDentalCare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Steve Kane and Brian Craig are heading out on another epic adventure on the high seas, and you are invited. We leave from Fort Lauderdale on November 8th for 6 nights on the Celebrity Silhouette and sail to the Cayman Islands. Join us for 6 days of fun, snorkeling, Mayan ruins, beaches, blackjack, and great friends. For information, call Ian 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is coming. I Will Advisors has all the education you need to make an informed decision about your plan for you and your family. I Will Advisors specializes in every aspect of Medicare and what options are most likely to help or hurt you. And that way you can get a plan that fits your lifestyle and needs at an affordable rate. Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, we are back. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. You know, Valerie Plame, P-L-A-M-E, she's running for Congress. Valerie Plame's running for Congress, and she's run into some trouble. She's got a campaign ad, which is really weird, which I'm going to play for you in a minute. But she's running for Congress in New Mexico, and she was tweeting some articles blaming Jews for the wars that America is in. Did you see any of this? Yeah, she was retweeting several articles. Valerie Plame was... If people are asking, who's Valerie Plame? Are you kidding me? She was like the most talked about woman in America for a couple of years back in the Bush era. Remember, she was an undercover CIA operative. I got to tell you, she's really good looking. And she's aged well. I haven't seen her in a while, and she's aged well. But she was retweeting some articles from this anti-Semitic publication blaming Jews for America's wars. Oh, boy. So CNN had her on Fredo's show last night to do some damage control. I'll play this a little bit, then I'll play you her campaign ad. There. Here's Fredo.
Tweeted or shown interest in articles that are put out by a website that is basically a platform for extremist thought and anti-Semitism. What are you doing having anything to do with a site like that if you want to represent New Mexico as a Democrat?
Now listen, that's Fredo Cuomo over there. If you want to represent as a Democrat, what Fredo was implying is that if you were a Republican, of course you would be anti-Semitic, and it would be understandable that you would retweet anti-Semitic articles blaming Jews for America's wars. But you're running as a Democrat. That's what Fredo's saying. But listen to Valerie Plame's excuse.
that is basically a platform for extremist thought and anti-Semitism. What are you doing having anything to do with a site like that if you want to represent New Mexico as a Democrat?
When I retweeted that, I apologized profusely and multiple times.
See, and when you're a Democrat and you do one of the worst things you can do, promote the most vile anti-Semitic things you can promote, if you apologize, all is forgiven. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
It's not who I am, and it's not what I believe. I told my twins when they're growing up,
Oh, please.
you apologize, you have to say it with sincerity so that it's meaningful. And it was sincere.
Oh, okay.
You can only judge me from my words and actions going forward.
Why did you do it?
Because I didn't read the article all the way through. And
I didn't read the article all the way through. If I'd have read the article all the way through, I would have seen that it was anti-Semitic, blaming Jews for America's wars, and I wouldn't have retweeted it, she says to Fredo.
Way through, and I was simply focused on getting out of with the mistake I thought of getting out of the Iran nuclear deal.
Oh, gosh.
Was a really bad idea, and that's proof.
She was so the article, I guess, blames the Jews for getting out of the Iran nuclear deal, I guess.
And that's proven to be true.
If it were one to be one and done, but you've shown other interest in that website before, why would you have anything to do with a website that is operated or at least provided by...
Now you know, she was they acted as if she was a top CIA operative. You know? Back in the Bush years. Remember Scooter Libby and all that stuff? She doesn't sound too bright. Is that the best the CIA has to offer? So, yeah. So she's... apparently she's a frequent retweeter from this website that hates the Jews. So she has this campaign ad, which you got to watch online. It's her out. She's running in New Mexico. So she's wearing like New Mexico clothes, tight jeans. She's a good-looking woman. She's wearing tight jeans, tight shirt, and she gets into a muscle car and speeds off down the highway in the New Mexico desert. And here's Valerie Plame's campaign ad.
CIA operative. My assignment was preventing rogue states and terrorists from getting nuclear weapons. You name a hotspot, I lived it. Then Dick Cheney's chief of staff took revenge against my husband and leaked my identity. His name, Scooter Libby. Guess who pardoned him last year? I come from Ukrainian Jewish immigrants. Dad was in the Air Force. My brother almost died.
See, I like this. She's being accused of anti-Semitism for these tweets. She doesn't say I'm a Jew. I come from Ukrainian Jewish immigrants. That's different than being a Jew. I guess she doesn't identify as one today. And by the way, if her life is in danger by being outed, why does she continue to promote herself? She's really forgotten. And now she's out there promoting herself again.
Dad was in the Air Force. My brother almost died in Vietnam. My service was cut short when my own government betrayed.
How I like this new standard of service. If your brother almost died in Vietnam, that's as if you went to Vietnam now, right? According to this Valerie Plame ad. My brother almost died in Vietnam. Well, that's the same as you being there. So, oh, wow. She's like a Vietnam veteran, I guess, because of that. All right, let's get back to this.
We left Washington to raise our kids in New Mexico. One of the best places on earth. Now I'm running for Congress because we're going backwards on national security, health care, and women's rights. We need to turn our country around. And yes, the CIA really does teach us how to drive like this. You've probably heard my name. And Mr. President, I've got a few scores to settle.
Wow. So she's got some scores to settle. She's got scores to settle? What is it? She's running for office to enact revenge against people? Who? And, you know, this, if you watch the video of the audio I just played of her campaign ad, she's driving, I think it's a Dodge, I don't know, it's a Chevy. It's not a Dodge. I don't know what it is, but it's a muscle car. And she's driving it through the desert in reverse at high speeds, doing stunts. And she says, yes, the CIA does teach us to drive this way. And when you see the car, it looks like she's driving the car. So is she a stunt driver too, Valerie Plame? I mean, my goodness. You know, she's hot. She can drive like Steve McQueen in Bullet. And she's married to this fat slob that wears an ascot. He dresses like Thurston Howell III. What's Valerie Plame's husband's name? I forgot his name. They got different last names. They made a movie about them where Sean Penn played the husband. I've forgotten his name. Joe Wilson, that's his name. Joe Wilson. Ambassador Joe Wilson with the ascot. Oh, my goodness. She's got scores to settle. What does that mean, Valerie Plame? And is she driving that car? I don't know. But she's in some hot water for these anti-Semitic tweets. It says Democratic congressional candidate Valerie Plame of New Mexico blamed social media, specifically Twitter, on Monday night for why she interacted with an anti-Semitic website in 2017. Yes. Valerie Plame appeared on CNN, in which I showed you. She blamed, this thing that they do now. They go back through your Twitter and accuse you of being things because of things you've tweeted or retweeted or liked on Twitter. And a lot of people, I don't do this, but a lot of people on their Twitter profiles write in their biography, tweets, retweets, and likes do not imply endorsements. Okay? Because they have this standard that if you retweet something or like something, that you are endorsing not just everything that is in that content, in this case, an article, but you are endorsing whoever wrote it too for their entire life. And, I tweet and retweet articles all the time, sometimes from BuzzFeed, HuffPost, liberal sources. And when I retweet things, it's just an article that I've read that it's not I'm saying, oh, this is the way it is. It's an article I've read that I want to share with people that follow me on Twitter or Facebook. And a lot of the articles, in fact, maybe at least half, if not more of the articles I tweet or share on Facebook probably are liberal. I would think. Probably are liberal. I can't, but I would say, yeah. Doesn't mean I'm liberal. So I'm going to give Valerie Plame a bit of a break here on these anti-Semitic articles that she retweeted in 2017. All right, listen, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Third and final hour begins right now.
1470 is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
This is Roger Simon, reverse mortgage
Steve Kane Show.
specialist at South Florida's Choice Mortgage Bank. I've found that reverse mortgages can be
You got it. Hold on. Steve Kane Show.
For seniors. I truly change their lives for the better. In fact, I have a reverse mortgage myself.
We can't do it now because I got Dr. Matez now. If you want, you can call back at 8:30.
Of course, is different, but I've
Oh,
found
okay.
over and over that reverse mortgage can solve many of the seniors' financial problems. It's a valuable tool to allow you to age in place. And if you're a senior like me, that's a primary goal. By aging in place, I mean that you're financially able to stay in the home you love for the rest of your life. So if you own your home with or without a mortgage, if you want to know how a reverse mortgage can change your life by giving you the financial freedom you need, find out how by giving me a call anytime at 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730. I look forward to hearing from you.
Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender NMLS 166254. Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65 $5. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive, 6 till 9 a.m. weekdays, and overnights, midnight till 6 a.m., 7 nights a week. To call the show toll-free, 1-888-GO.
All right. Third and final hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the line, we have Dr. Mitch Matez. Dr. Matez, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Listen, we're going to talk today, Brian, about libido, a word that you and I throw around a whole lot. The dictionary definition of libido is sexual desire, and that's in every dictionary. Young, healthy people tend to have very strong libidos. Older, sick people tend to have very little libido. People, that's men and women, by the way, people with healthy testosterone levels have strong libidos. People with low testosterone levels tend to have very poor libidos. Men with higher estrogen levels tend to have poor libidos and poor function. By the way, Brian, most doctors that prescribe testosterone to men do not check their estrogen levels. And if you are a man and you're on testosterone, they are not checking your estrogen levels, you better come and see me fast. Folks, libido is a sign of good health. Low libido, which is directly linked to low testosterone, is a sign of potentially poor health. Testosterone has been shown in the medical literature to be associated with significant functional deficiencies in men and increases their likelihood of early demise. Common sense tells me it's the same for women. Good news, folks. It can give you back your libido and your energy and your function and a whole host of other things that we all lose as we age. Just give us a call. 1-953-5490, 561-953-5490, or visit us at hormonetherapybocaRaton.com.
All right, Dr. Matez, that's a lot of great information, and thanks for sharing, and we'll talk later in the week. All right, Dr. Mitch Matez, give him a call. All right, yeah, I know I see people in the chat room are watching the Valerie Plame video, probably because she's good looking, right? For someone running for Congress. But I got to tell you, I don't like, this is just me personally, I don't like all these intelligence operatives running for Congress. There were several former intelligence people that ran in congressional races in the last election, and I think they all won. So that's something to make you a little nervous, doesn't it? Well, hey, Bush 41 was CIA and FBI, so they've always done this. All right, so yesterday, the ladies of The View, I never watch The View. Do you? If something interesting happens on The View, you hear about it, and I'll watch the soundbite online, but I don't watch The View. Joy Behar is an ugly woman. I don't mean physically. I mean the inner, just inside. She's ugly and arrogant and liberal with a passion that leads to saying ridiculous things. And, this thing with Joy Behar on The View, she is a comedian. And she is supposed to be on The View to be kind of the comic relief. Now, I know Whoopi Goldberg's a comedian too, and I don't hear any humor from these two comedians. And I remember when Whoopi Goldberg did stand-up, she was great doing stand-up. She had stand-up specials that were on like Showtime or HBO back in the 80s, and she was very good, very funny. No funny from Whoopi. And Joy Behar, I haven't heard her crack a joke on anything I've heard of The View in years. So yesterday, the guests on The View were Sean and Rachel Duffy. And Sean and Rachel Duffy are former stars of MTV's The Real World. And he's gone on to be in Congress, Republican in Congress. And Rachel Campos Duffy, his wife, you see her on Fox and Friends weekends, right? And I followed Rachel Campos, she used to be. Now she's Rachel Campos Duffy, since The Real World. She was on The Real World San Francisco with Pedro Zamora, and she was a conservative back then. And he left Congress, and they say that he's leaving Congress because she's pregnant with like their 18th child. They have more kids than a Mormon family. And they actually met on The Real World. And they were in different seasons, but there was a reunion season or something that they met on. And the child is going to be born with some type of disability. They said hole in the heart, which I think is rather... My daughter had a hole in her heart when she was born, and it healed itself, thankfully so. But he's leaving Congress because of the health of the child that they're bringing into the world. And I would imagine that's true, but it's also probably a little more true that he's going out to try to make some money. They have a lot of kids. I don't know if they have 18, but they have... I don't know. How many kids do the Duffys have? I guess I can find it online. Let me look this up real quick. You gotta, I love the Google. On Google, you can find out everything. How many kids does Sean Duffy have? Okay, and does it tell me real quick? I don't know, but they got between 8 and 12 kids. I'm not exaggerating. They have between 9. They have 9 kids. 9 kids. That's a lot of kids. And I'm thinking he's probably leaving Congress to go out. He has an opportunity now to make some money. He's on TV all the time. He's got TV experience. And he's probably going out to make some money to raise the kids. In the House of Representatives, I think the salary is $175,000 a year. And I know that ain't bad, right? That's not bad, $175,000 a year. But when you've got a family that large and you're also celebrities, that's paycheck to paycheck kind of money when you're at the level they're at with that many kids, $175,000 a year, as crazy as that sounds. But they're also celebrities, and they've got to maintain a certain status, so that congressional salary in the House just probably is tight. So he's leaving to make some money. That's okay. So he's on The View yesterday. And, of course, Joy Behar is just livid to be sitting there with 2 Republicans. I mean, she's, the stereotypical, typical tolerant liberal. She's in a rage because she is there with conservative Republicans. She just can't stand it. And they go back and forth. I'm just going to play a quick clip of it. Joy Behar, she's talking to the Duffys about supporting the president with so many children. They should really be concerned about what he's doing to the environment. Now, I don't know what he's doing to the environment. Do you? What is Donald Trump doing to the environment that has Joy Behar so upset? Is he dumping nuclear waste in our rivers, lakes, and oceans? What is he doing to the environment? I don't quite understand what she's talking about. I don't think she does either. But, the liberals think that Republicans are polluters for some reason, which, of course, is not the case. But anyway, listen, she says something under her breath that you've got to be listening very closely to pick up on. So this is Joy Behar talking to the Duffys.
The factories are back. People have jobs. There's more jobs than there are people to fill them. And that was not a lot of times at the expense of the environment.
Okay, so you can hardly hear Joy Behar mumbling in that annoying voice of hers under her breath when the Duffys are talking. So Rachel Duffy says there are more jobs than there are people to fill them. And then Joy Behar says at the expense of the environment, and that's not good. Listen.
Factories are back. People have jobs. There's more jobs than there are people to fill them, and that was not right. At the expense of the environment.
Not good. So if you are working, now again, she makes, she makes over $1 million a year. The View fired her and hired her back, and they pay her millions of dollars. She has a multi-million-dollar contract. But if you are an hourly shift worker at a factory, you should be put out of work, because as an hourly shift worker who's making 11, 12, 15 bucks an hour, your job is harming the environment. So while she lives in Manhattan with a multi-million-dollar contract that she's not worth, because, I mean, she's supposed to be a comedian. She's not very funny. Hourly workers in factories should be out of work because you are harming the environment. Even though you're producing, if you're working in an American factory, you are producing products that are being consumed by New Yorkers. Okay, like Joy Behar with her multi-million-dollar contract. It's okay for her to consume products made in factories. That's okay. But if you are working in a factory, you are hurting the environment, and it is not good that you have a job. And, to liberals, this makes sense. That high unemployment is better for America, because high unemployment means there's less pollution. Person doesn't have to drive to work. The factory doesn't have to use electricity. How much of a carbon footprint do the ABC studios in New York City produce every day? This is an ABC show. It's a pretty big studio. The local television station is out of there. That show that used to be Regis and Kathy Lee, I don't know what they call it now, with Kelly, that's out of there. They produce a lot of television. They got a news operation going on 24/7. What is the carbon footprint and the pollution that is produced by the ABC television studio in Manhattan? And what I would include in that is not just the electrical output for all of those television studios that are producing TV content 24 hours a day. They got a news operation there. They got the local news. They've got The View. They've got that Live with Kelly show. They film television productions for the ABC network out of that place. So, and I'm not talking about just the pollution that's produced by the building itself. What about all the people that are traveling to and from every day? And, the Duffys, they're good people, and he's been in Congress, and, and he's a lot smarter than I am. He turned a reality show gig into, a congressional seat, and if he's not already, he's about to become a millionaire in the private sector. So he knows a lot of things that I don't know, but he doesn't know how to handle this, and that's what I would bring up to her. We are in this humongous, and I'll tell you, not all, when people think of factories, they think of some massive thing that's blocks and blocks long with smokestacks going out everywhere and, 50,000 employees. That's not how all factories are. There are factories, I promise you, there are factories in America that have a smaller carbon footprint than that ABC building where they produce all of these television shows in Manhattan. And Joy Behar is not aware of that. It hasn't even appeared on her radar. And if you brought it up to her, well, yeah, but we're producing entertainment. And people need entertainment. Goods and services and jobs and factories they don't need. They need One Life to Live and Live with Kelly and The View. Right? But they don't need the factory. But I promise you, they're polluting more than probably most of America's factories, because a lot of factories are tiny little workshops. All right, listen, it's 15 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons.
Steve Kane
My
Show.
deductible is too high. I don't have insurance.
Hey,
My
Barry.
schedule is too hectic. I just can't afford it. The time for excuses is over. Thanks to Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. PSA, only $34. Full cholesterol lipid panel, $28. Complete thyroid panel, $49. Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less. Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes micronutrient and environmental allergies, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation, probably test for it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072, 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, 954-916-1072.
This is Roger Simon, reverse mortgage specialist at South Florida's Choice Mortgage Bank. I've found that reverse mortgages can be a very valuable financial vehicle for seniors. I truly change their lives for the better. In fact, I have a reverse mortgage myself, and it's certainly improved my life. Everyone's situation, of course, is different, but I've found over and over that a reverse mortgage can solve many of a senior's financial problems. It's a valuable tool to allow you to age in place. And if you're a senior like me, that's a primary goal. By aging in place, I mean that you're financially able to stay in the home you love for the rest of your life. So if you own your home with or without a mortgage, and if you want to know how a reverse mortgage can change your life by giving you the financial freedom you need, find out how by giving me a call anytime at 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730. I look forward to hearing from you.
Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166254.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeart.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. And on the line, we have attorney Barry Siegel, our elder law attorney. Barry Siegel, good morning.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. One of the things we commonly find when we review people's estate planning documents is that they don't have what we call the bloodline planning. And most people actually think they have this in their documents. And what we're really talking about is one of the main things about it is that it can protect your family money, the money that you've worked so hard for your whole life, that you've saved for your whole life, that you wanted to leave to your children and your grandchildren. It's protecting it from ending up in the hands of your future ex-son-in-law or your future ex-daughter-in-law, or upon if your child predeceases their spouse, having it all go to their spouse, who then may in turn remarry, and it may end up going to their new husband or wife, instead of going down the family bloodline to children and then your grandchildren, your family, all because it was not left properly to the people that you intended it for to go. Unintended heirs, and that happens a lot.
Yeah, it does. I've seen that happen many times, Barry. I mean, there's a whole group of predators here in Florida, men and women, who look for widows and widowers. They get married, and they don't make the changes you're talking about. And their kids get all of your, well, everything is saved and worked hard for your whole life. It's terrible.
That's one of the many things that we look at when we review your current estate planning documents to make sure that they're up to date as far as the law is concerned, to make sure that they have the bloodline planning, if that's something that's important to you, which is generally important to most people. And, we just want to make sure that everything is done properly. And, of course, that you have the right people in place, that you don't have some person that you had named a long time ago who may not even be living or doesn't even live in the area or that you don't even talk to anymore, handling everything for you in your time of crisis. So we want to make sure that it's up to date and it's going to work for you when you need it. And so that's what we do when you come in for your complimentary.
Absolutely. And give attorney Barry Siegel a call. You'll be glad you did. I have talked to so many Steve Kane listeners over the years that are clients of yours, Barry, and they just praise you, and praise you for what you have done for them. Give him a call, toll free, 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 855-FLA-ESTATE, and numerically that's 855-352-3782. Online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, we'll talk later in the week. All right, take care. All right, yeah, I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. We are back. I tell you, there's, these predators that I was just mentioning to Barry. I've seen this happen so many times. There was a married couple lived next to my parents when I was a kid, and the husband died. And they were married for like 30 years. And she got married within just like 6 months. She was married. She got married within 6 months to a guy she met at church, right? She died about 6 weeks after she got married. And this guy that she met at the church that she was married to about a month and a half, not only did he get everything, he wouldn't even let her family inside the house to get family pictures. They actually got into a fight at the funeral, from what I was told by some people at the wake after. Terrible thing. So give attorney Barry Siegel a call. Yeah, so, these Democrats that are running around, running for president, are a bunch of clowns. I mean, we agree with that. There's two underdogs that I'm telling you to keep an eye on. People laugh at me when I tell you these names, but I'm telling you, I'm going to play a clip from one of them in just a minute. But the first one is Mayor Pete, and the second one is Tulsi Gabbard. Watch out for them. Tulsi Gabbard, I don't even think qualified for the next debate, but I'm telling you to watch out. I'm going to play a clip from her in a minute. Mayor Pete, I told you, Mayor Pete's in bed with the Kennedys, and the people that have been writing his speeches and also coaching him on his canned answers to the questions and interviews are Obama people. And I know that because of the word usage and the phrases. And I saw a story today that Buttigieg is bringing more Obama people into the campaign. So he's got the Kennedys behind him and he's got the Obamas behind them, Buttigieg. And that is the Democrat Party establishment, okay? I've gone through that a bunch of times, so I'm not going to do it now. But Mayor Pete, he's an underdog. Watch out for him. We're going to be, I'm not saying he's going to be the president, Trump's winning, or even the nominee, but we're going to be hearing about Mayor Pete Buttigieg for a long time. He's going to be in the Senate or something before we know it, and it's just going to be a pain, or maybe governor out there, I don't know. But we're going to be hearing about Mayor Pete for years to come. He's not going anywhere. And the other one's Tulsi Gabbard. And in that one debate, Tulsi Gabbard took Kamala Harris from the front runner to a nobody. I mean, she's done. And it's because of Tulsi Gabbard. And I believe Tulsi Gabbard is who Biden is looking at to be his VP. And Tulsi Gabbard, I'm just going to play one clip. Tulsi Gabbard gave an interview where she said a lot of conservative things. If you didn't know it, you would think that this was someone talking for Trump. And I'll just play you this one clip. Tulsi Gabbard, and I'll tell you, she looks better the further away you are. She is an odd-looking woman when you see her up close. She's very large, not in a fat way. She's just a big girl. She's military, right? She's a soldier. But one of there are three things actually with Tulsi Gabbard that tell me that she is a serious contender. One, these are the three things about Tulsi Gabbard right now, and I'll play this one clip that show that she's made a deal with someone and she's someone to look out for. And she's one to be the most cautious of right now because she's a liberal Democrat who's going around talking like Bill Clinton was talking back in the night, like a conservative, okay? And when a liberal Democrat starts talking about a conservative and doing what she's doing in this clip, I'll explain to you in a minute. You got to watch out for them. She's going places. She's not going to be the president. She's not going to be the vice president right now. But she's a contender down the road after Trump's second term. She has done three things, and maybe there's more as I'm talking. But one, she had Joe Biden's back and took out Kamala Harris in the last debate and made her a nobody now. Kamala Harris was about to become a front runner, and she totally destroyed Kamala Harris. Okay, that's number one. Two, she has changed something about her clothing. She used to wear a lei everywhere. In fact, she had a town hall meeting that was on one of the cable networks, and she had a business suit on that had a lei as part of the outfit. It was like part of it. And she always wore a lei. I used to make fun of her, like, Tulsi, we know you're from Hawaii. You don't have to wear the damn lei like some hula girl at the airport. And she always wore the lei. She stopped wearing the lei and has changed her fashion. That means she's trying to get out of Hawaii and be mainstream. And third, she is using a strategy that Bill Clinton used in the 90s to get reelected. That Dick Morris was his campaign manager in the reelection of Bill Clinton. And they had a campaign strategy called triangulation, which is a fancy word. And what Bill Clinton did when he ran against Bob Dole is the Republicans were very popular then. Newt Gingrich was Speaker of the House. And for the first time, I think it was in 30 years, but it might have been 40, that the Republicans took over both houses of Congress. And it was the first time Republicans had controlled the House and the Senate at the same time in like 30 years or more at the time. And the Republican positions were very popular in the 94 midterms of Bill Clinton. So when Bill Clinton ran for re-election in 1996, he took all the popular Republican positions and made them his own. The most famous one is welfare reform. And he got reelected easily, not just because he was running up against a guy that was, shouldn't have been running, but because he took what was popular at the time. Now, and Tulsi Gabbard, if you watch her on interviews, I'm just going to play one clip. It was a long interview that I'm not going to play any other clips from. She is taking a lot of Donald Trump's positions and making them her own. And this is one, she was talking about the border. And this is Tulsi Gabbard.
I don't support open borders. Without secure borders, we don't really have a country. And
now, that's a quote from Donald Trump and Michael Savage. Remember, she's a liberal Democrat. She's a liberal Democrat. She has a history. She's from Hawaii. She has a record of a liberal Democrat. But she's out there taking Donald Trump's popular positions. And you see, Democrats, when I go through a news story, if I can, like this Jerry Falwell story, I shared it with you from Politico. It's been written about in a lot of other places. I go to liberal sources a lot because liberals in the audience, if I share it from Fox or that Fox, that's Breitbart. So I read it from a liberal source so they can't discount the source of the story. You understand what I'm saying? When a liberal Democrat starts saying conservative things, liberals don't hear it as conservative. They hear a fellow Democrat and they accept it. So Tulsi Gabbard is taking Donald Trump, Michael Savage like quotes word for word on the border.
I don't support open borders. Without secure borders, we don't really have a country.
How many times have you heard Donald Trump say that in speeches? Right? Without borders, you don't have a country. Michael Savage said it first, but Trump says it all the time. Tulsi Gabbard.
And while some of the other Democratic candidates will say, well, open borders, that's a conservative argument, and that's not really what's being advocated for. If you look at the practical implications of some of the things they're pushing for, it is essentially.
See, she's the most dangerous Democrat running. She doesn't even qualify for the next debate. What Democrats do is they take conservative positions, ideas, and heroes and icons and make them their own. When Obama was running for election the first time, remember what he was doing? He was quoting Ronald Reagan, and he was talking about that Kearns book on Team of Rivals that Abraham Lincoln put together a cabinet of rivals, and, that's what they do, okay? And Tulsi Gabbard's doing it.
Argument, and that's not really what's being advocated for. If you look at the practical implications of some of the things they're pushing for, it is essentially open borders. I think there's a few things that we've got to do when we're talking about immigration reform. One is we've got to have secure borders. This is not Trump's wall
I got a minute.
see the shining sea. It's about seeing, again, what makes sense. You know, I look at things from a practical, objective-oriented standpoint. I'm a soldier, so I look at what's our objective? Secure the borders. In some places, it may make the most sense to have a wall or some kind of physical barrier.
I mean, this is word for word out of a Trump rally, what she's saying. In some areas, a physical border. In some areas, not. This is like a Trump speech. And by the way, I'm not saying like it. This is like plagiarism from Trump speeches, really.
Barrier in place. In other places, it won't make sense. So you use technology. You use all the other tools.
See, word for word from Donald Trump.
The other tools that we have ultimately to accomplish that objective.
Okay, and she's done a fifth thing that I left off. She's lost the Hawaiian accent, if you've noticed. She has a dialect coach. If you go back to Tulsi Gabbard a year or so ago, she has a very heavy Hawaiian accent. You know, like Dog the Bounty Hunter has. Very odd, where they call everybody bruh and all this stuff. And she has worked to lose her Hawaiian accent, too. I know this sounds crazy, but she's a Trojan horse. She's not going to be the president or the vice president, but she is being positioned to be a front runner or someone of importance in the election after Trump's second term. I'm telling you, Tulsi Gabbard is the one that they're really, really looking at. And you see everything she's doing. She doesn't qualify for the next debate. She says she's still going to campaign. She doesn't care. Okay, I'm telling you. All right, we'll take our break. Steve's here. When we get back, much more to talk about. If you're just tuning in, you know, I've covered a lot. I know Steve's running a little late today. People may be asking, where's Steve? Well, you may have heard that Todd Palin and Sarah Palin are divorcing. So I think Steve had spent the morning trying to get a hold of Sarah Palin on the phone since she's on the market now. But I think what you forgot is that Wasilla, I think, is 7 hours different from the East Coast. So you got to wait till a little later in the day to get Sarah Palin on the line. All right, now before we take a break, I got to tell you about my pillow. I've been sleeping on my pillow since Christmas night. My wife got me a my pillow for Christmas, and you know I've been talking to my wife. I was like, you know what, I want to get a my pillow, but I don't know. A pillow's a pillow. You know, come on. You know. And my wife got me a my pillow for Christmas, and let me tell you, I don't even know another thing I got for Christmas this year. I really don't. It's the only thing I remember I got, and certainly the only thing I got for Christmas that I'm still using each and every night. I love that my pillow. I sleep better. I sleep deeply. I sleep soundly. For a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons you sleep so well with a my pillow is not just because of that patented fill makes it oh so comfortable. It's that it perfectly supports your head and neck so you're not tossing and turning at night. And one of the reasons that you don't get a well-rested night's sleep is because you toss and turn all night. And every time you toss or turn, even though you may not be aware of it, you wake yourself up and it takes you out of the REM sleep. And with a my pillow, with that perfect support of the head and neck, you're not tossing and turning, you sleep the whole night through. I got my wife a my pillow. My daughter has a my pillow. Even my dog Nina has the my pillow pet bed. I mean, we're just a my pillow family. I bought one for Steve, and you know, and Steve's been sleeping on his my pillow every night since too. And before I had the my pillow, I was on a quest for a pillow. Let me tell you, I've tried them all. I've tried the foam pillows. I've tried the bamboo pillows. I had those pillows that have the foam with the groove that's supposed to hold you. I've tried everything. And only the my pillow have I not only gotten a rested night's sleep, you don't wake up with the neck pain, perfect support. It's a spectacular pillow. When I travel, I take the my pillow with me. I was just telling you the other day, my daughter and I went to Disney World a couple weeks ago. We got in the car to leave, and my daughter says, Dad, we forgot the my pillows. We went back in the house, got the my pillows, slept in the hotel room on the my pillows, and I'm bringing my pillows. My daughter's coming. We're bringing both of them on the Steve Kane cruise in November. Now listen, the My Pillow has an incredible offer for Steve Kane listeners. If you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com, you can get 2 premium My Pillows for the price of 1. It's the 2-for-1 special you'll see at mypillow.com. But you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. You get 2 My Pillows for the price of 1. And it's an amazing deal. You'd be glad you did. They make great gifts, too. Anytime we buy a gift for someone, In our circle, we buy them a My Pillow. Got one for my mother at Mother's Day, but we buy them, if our friends or have something coming up, we buy them a My Pillow. And we use the promo code Kane, and we get a great discount. Sometimes we get we bought the My Pillow with the 2 special, and we keep 1 extra for the next time we got to give someone a gift. So again, 2 My Pillows for the price of 1. Use the promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout at mypillow.com. We'll be right back.
Planning on making changes to your Medicare
This is
plan
hold on. No,
drug
Steve
plan,
Kane show.
Now is the time to do it.
Oh, hold
I
on.
want
This
you
is
to meet
Janet.
My insurance agent,
What?
Debbie, from I Will Advisors. Debbie,
Well, I don't know. Oh, you don't have an outlet?
I don't know anything about this insurance thing. That's why I'm glad to have you as an agent.
Mm,
Why is it
I don't have many.
call you now?
Well, open enrollment begins October 15th through December 7th, and it's the one time a year where Medicare allows you to make changes to your Medicare Advantage plan.
Okay, that's
or your
Janet on the
prescription
line.
drug plans. We can start discussing the new options available to you anytime after October 1st.
So the sooner the better, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, you'll take, when I tell people to come in and they're Steve King listeners, I know you're gonna give them that extra special treatment, right?
Absolutely go out of our way to educate everybody on all their options. We go to your home. We'll meet you at a coffee shop if you're more comfortable, or of course you're welcome to come to our office in Coral Springs.
That is terrific. Debbie, give them the number where they can get a hold of you. And folks, now is the time to do it. Don't leave things till the last minute. Everything goes wrong when you leave things till the last minute. How can they make that appointment, Deb?
Absolutely. Give us a call. Our number is 954.
I'm giving you a gift. You get 2 My Pillows for the price of 1.
954.
We're giving you
8080.
You're in good hands with Debbie, and give her a call. When you do, be sure to tell her Steve Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian.
Oh, Janet from Save a Lot is on line
the
1.
Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, all you Steve Kane listeners, when you think of health, what's the first thing comes into your mind? I can tell you the first thing that enters my mind, and that's my lady of good health, Janet Morelli from Save a Lot Nutrition Centers. Janet, how are you this morning?
Well, still dealing with, I think, a little bit or a good bit of stress and anxiety from that hurricane. And I talked yesterday about getting back on the straight and narrow with our food. Well, some of my family members have finally reconnected with friends and associates on Deepwater Key in the Bahamas, and the devastation is horrific. So they're on their way with generators and water and food today for all of the people who were just terribly afflicted with the hurricane on Deepwater Key. And so here that we have the opportunity to do some shopping at Save-A-Lot Nutrition Center, there is CBD. CB Sciences has a green formula CBD, and it comes in gummies, it comes in sprays and capsules, and just to take the edge off all of that stress and anxiety, then you really want to get a good night's sleep, and certainly I turn to Cal 3 milligram liquid melatonin. It does the job. So if people have experimented with melatonin and say, that doesn't work for me, try the Cal liquid melatonin 3 milligrams. Comes in 2 different doses, 1 milligram, 3 milligrams. You will really enjoy a restful good night's sleep. When you have that good night's sleep, the problems with your brain focus and organization is not so bad. Brain Armor capsules and Brain Armor liquid. Again, getting your brain back to normal, off that stressful, anxiety-ridden situation. And I'll be at Save-A-Lot today from 12 to 5. So I'll be in the Save-A-Lot office 12 to 5.
Okay, Janet, tell them where to find you.
Okay, you can find me 3105 North State Road 7. That's also known as 441. It's about 2 blocks south of Sample Food, and it is in the Penn Dutch Plaza. So if you're using your GPS to find Save-A-Lot, just put Penn Dutch Margate in your GPS, and it will take you right to Save-A-Lot that's on the south end of the shopping center. 754-307-1655.
Johnny, you take care. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You too.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Okay, 754-307-1655. Great to hear your voice, and I get to look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.
Absolutely. All right, we are.
Oh boy, I tell you, by the way, we had lunch yesterday at Wings Plus over here in Coral Springs.
Yeah. Oh man.
And I was talking to Brian over there at Wings Plus, and they have a sign out front that they are taking collections for relief in the Bahamas. And I saw Brian; he was sitting at a table talking to some people, and I said, "Oh, can we send listeners over with supplies for the Bahamas?" And it just so happened he was sitting with the people that are actually flying the planes to the Bahamas with relief, and the Bahamas have been devastated, and this is what they need, and I'll tell you what they don't need, because this is a big thing. They need canned foods and water. No clothing, no blankets, none of that stuff. Canned food and water. There's limited space on planes, that these private people are flying, and that's what they need. So you can take it to Wings Plus on Sample Road, and they will get it to the Bahamas.
Too bad they can't transport some of that great food they have at Wings Plus.
Oh, they can. I'm sure they do. But that would just, Yeah, it is. I go over. It is.
I get my stuff to go all the time.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do at Wing, because you got football on Saturday and Sundays now, right?
Yeah.
If you go to Wings Plus on Friday or Saturday morning, and you get that 50 wing platter, because that's usually what I get. Because when we go to, there's only 3 of us at the house, but when we go to Wings Plus, we'll eat it for a few days because you get the 50 wing platter at Wings Plus, and they put it in a reheatable container, and they actually tell you how to heat it up. And I do it, and it's perfect. So you can get on Friday, Saturday, you got your football wings, man.
All right, and yeah, it is football season.
I know, that's why you're here late today. The game last night?
It was. I didn't watch it though.
No, come on.
I was under the weather yesterday a little bit.
Yeah, you were.
Making a comeback.
Nothing contagious, I hope.
No.
Someone in the chat said Steve doesn't have a chance with Sarah Palin. That was a joke, people. He wasn't really trying to call Sarah Palin. These liberals have no sense of humor.
Isn't that the truth?
They think you were actually trying to get a hold of Sarah Palin.
Isn't that the truth? I'm all psyched up. We spoke. By the time I come on the air here, I've spoken to Brian for several times prior to hitting the airwaves. And Brian, you're not excited about these elections tonight. I'm really excited. I mean, they have managed to successfully convince me, both in my mind and emotionally, that these are what do they call them? They're interim elections, or what do they call them?
Special elections.
Special elections. That they are really indicative of what we may expect.
Of course, they're saying that.
Well, but they got me believing it. I believe that.
This is what I don't know enough about. Well, let me explain what I'm telling you. I don't know enough about these races or the candidates, but I'll tell you, today, I saw this morning. They're all calling this a bellwether for the next election. If they lose the Trump-backed candidates, they'll say it's a bellwether. If the Trump candidates win, they won't be saying it's a bellwether anymore. They'll drop the bellwether talk.
Election, they're going to spin the results, whether you're a Democrat or Republican.
Yeah.
Spins the results to
yeah.
their advantage. But I had a quick peek this morning at the Democratic candidates. I'm not sure even which state. He's a guy who was in the military. He's a Democrat. And a very attractive candidate, I must say. He was saying all the right things, and he had a very kind of convincing tone about him, So he's learned how to cover up his Democratic tendencies.
That's what they're doing now.
But I'm interested in seeing the results. I mean,
well, no, I'm interested to see the results too, but I don't know enough about it to have a discussion on it.
Nor do I. But see, I keep trying to tell you this: the best thing, you come on the air prepared, which is what I taught you way back, and you have a lot of things to talk about and stuff like that. But you have a tendency. This is just you as a talk show host.
to shy away from things that you don't know a lot about, which is an understanding. But no, this is a good example. You don't know a lot about it, so
The individual
special
race. I did watch the rally last night, but which was a very good rally.
Yeah. But I'm trying to tell you, the best way is if you don't know, and I don't know any more than you do about that special election, but you throw it out to the audience. We have a very political audience, and you say, I don't really know a lot about, I haven't been following the special election.
Yeah.
Any feedback?
We could do that.
Kind of hook the listeners into talking about the stuff that you may not be that familiar with.
That's fine. I just had other things I was more interested in today.
It was fascinating.
We'll talk about the election tomorrow when we know what happened and we got some feedback, I guess. We don't have much time left, so if you want to call, you better do it now. But there's only a couple minutes left.
Sarah Palin?
No, Sarah Palin's not on the line.
Oh.
No, Sarah Palin's not on the line.
Whatever happened to Sarah Palin? Is she in office, out of office, single, married? What is?
No, she's her husband filed for divorce yesterday in Anchorage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, now I get it. The husband filed for divorce. On what ground?
Very odd. I don't remember the phrase they use. If somebody remembers, call in. But they can't live. They can't live together any longer. He said. It wasn't irreconcilable differences or incompatible. It was a very strange, I guess, a legal phrase up in Alaska.
That's gotta be a good story, then.
Well, there was no details.
Well, no, but I mean, that doesn't mean there's not a story.
Well, typically, they've been married 30 years. Typically, people don't file for divorce unless they got something going on the side and something else set up, in particular men.
That has been my experience.
Very unusual that the man files for divorce first, too, and not the woman. Isn't it? Is that unusual?
Would you say that, in the area of speculation, would you say that whoever files for divorce is the one who was cheated on?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
But not more likely?
I have to see Sarah Palin because if a woman, the way you can tell if it's hard to tell if a man is having an affair. There is women do something when they're having an affair, all of them, and it's simple. You know what it is.
Well,
they change their hairstyle. They change their hairstyle when they get we had a couple that were friends. No, their hair. My wife and I, we had a couple. They had 3 kids. We were friends with them, and their kids used to come over to our house and stuff all the time. And they came over one day. A woman had a new hairstyle. My wife said, "Oh, she's got a boyfriend." And I said, "Come on, we've known him for years." A couple months later, they were split. She moved in with the new guy. The hairstyle, yeah. But she's not the one that filed for divorce. Todd did. So I don't know. We'll find out. Believe me, the press are on it.
Oh, yes.
We'll find it. They're already flying to Alaska to find out.
Especially if it's a spicy story, we'll find out about it.
Well, if it's not a good story for the Palins, there's got to be something involved in it.
It might be good for one of them.
It seems as if they're living apart, and you can be married and live apart forever. To file for divorce means one of them's got something else going on. I would say. No, they're both basically retired, living off their money that they've made. She's made millions, so they live off of that.
All right, well, we are at the bottom of the hour. Let's take a break. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. We'll return with more of your calls after this.
Basically, the gold report and done at this point. Gold report and done at this point. Show's over. We got the gold report and that's it.
Where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's
It's
Tires
$8.48.
or Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50%
Youngerman.
savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added
I happen to have, I didn't know this, I've got the sleep apnea brochure from his office here. I had it in the desk.
Tell him what you drive and he
So, Resk is getting some stuff, but I'm going to ask him if we can use this because this has got good stuff in it. This has got everything we need if he'll let us use it. All right, Youngerman's on the line.
FriendlyTire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, it is that time to check in with William Youngerman of William Youngerman, Inc. and see how the precious metals are doing. As you know, William one of the world's leading experts on precious metals. In fact, he has been advising clients on trends and movements in the precious metals market now for 52 years. And things have been very wild lately. Metals very, very strong. We're suggesting buying on all these pullbacks. Will today be a pullback? I haven't looked. I haven't cheated. So I'm going to find out with you, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, William Youngerman. William, what's it looking like today?
Steve, looking like a very important day for the precious metals. We've got what we could be setting ourselves up for is a key reversal to back up on the upside for the precious metals. We've been down several days now since we hit those highs on gold of $1,557, and then saw profit taking come in, pushing the market down several days in a row. And today we bounced off a very key support level on gold at $1,485.80. That number it should hold, and it is a great buying opportunity. This could be a reversal day in which the market set a new low on this particular run and then turn around and close up on the day. So that's what I'm looking for today. As I said, gold got down to $1,485.80, right on the $1,485 support number, and right now is back up to about $1,495.30, as only being down $3.40. Yesterday we saw gold close down $7.90 at $1,498.60, which was below the temporary support level which we were looking at of $1,500. Since that didn't hold, we would anticipate that it would have gone down and tested that support, that strong support area and critical support area for gold at $1,485. It did that and then has turned around. So we'll see if that holds today. Then we could be looking for the climb back up to challenge that 1557 number again. So great day to be taking advantage of the dip in gold. An opportunity we don't always get, but certainly one that you want to take advantage of after seeing gold rise over $300 over this year. Silver down to $17.99 yesterday. That was down 23 cents. Platinum was down $4 at $9.44, and palladium was up $2 at $15.24. So this morning, right now, we got gold at $14.95.20. As I said, we get a low of $14.85.80. That's down only $3.40 now. Silver was down 3 cents after hitting a low of $17.67. Now $17.99, just under $18. Platinum down $5 at $9.39 after hitting a low of $9.27. And palladium up $13 after hitting a low of $14.93. It's now $15.37. So as I said, I think we're getting set up for a perfect key reversal today, which would indicate that we've seen the bottom of this profit taking that's come into the precious metals over the last week. So again, take advantage of these dips. They won't last very long.
Now, when you say the dips, the key reversals, and that, are you referring just to gold or to all of the precious metals?
For at least for these, it looks like gold and silver right now. But those two markets is what I would be referring to mostly. Although we did get down pretty low on all the others too. But the key we're looking at right now is on gold and silver. And those key reversals is when you make a new low in the day and then turn up and be out and close up on the day. It could be in the reverse too. If you make a new high and then close down on the day, that's a key reversal to the downside. This we're looking at is a possible key reversal to the upside.
Well, it is all very, very exciting, and today is the day to drop by William Youngerman. William is located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. Now, that is the Bank America building. You'll find William on the first floor, directly across from the bank. You can reach him by phone at 1-800-327-5010. Or go to the website at williamyoungerman.com. William, we will speak tomorrow right around this time. All right?
Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
You take care, and we are back.
You know, I was looking during the break at Trump's Twitter, and he did something I've not seen him do before. Maybe he's done it and I missed it. He showed pictures from the rally last night, but he showed a photograph outside of the building while he was speaking. There were more people outside than inside. You know, I mean, that's, what's going on at these...
It's really wild. Well, that's
Yeah.
what makes it interesting. That's why I can't wait for the results to
Well,
start pouring in tonight.
Well, the thing about these, no politician in history has had turnouts like Trump. The campaign started like 4 years ago now.
But don't you see the key exciting question to focus on? Does all that buzz and all that excitement translate into votes? That's the key question.
No,
that's
they're
being
well.
decided
What they'll.
today.
Oh, are you talking about the election
Well,
tonight?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In other words, if he can create that kind of a buzz that everybody goes, "Oh my gosh, look at that! It's unbelievable!"
Yeah.
And whoa, the election comes the next day and he loses it. It shows.
Well,
that
he's not
there's
running.
a-
He's not running.
Well, you understand.
So he's not losing.
Everybody understands this is a proxy.
This is what's happening. This is why I don't watch Fox News Channel anymore, because what they have you doing is worrying about things that you shouldn't be worrying about. They want you to doubt Trump. They want you to be fearful that he and they have this new tactic on, or this new line on Fox that is pretty much what CNN started back in 2016, is what you just said. Are they there just to see a celebrity, or are these voters, or are these just people out of curiosity?
That's the question.
I think the question's been answered time and time again. Right? I mean, he wins. Very few people he's campaigned for have lost. I mean, Roy Moore lost. He said, don't vote for Roy Moore. He said, Roy Moore can't win. Don't vote for Roy Moore. Vote for the that big Louis guy or whatever, that big guy, whatever that guy was, big whatever. You know what I'm talking about? And it, so no, this is not, but these Trump rallies have been going on for 4 years. No politician in history has had crowds turn out like this.
Has he won all of them? I mean, him or
He's won pretty much everything. See, this is what's going on here, because what the news are doing is trying to trick you into watching Fox all day, because they have this question, what will happen in the election. So you're going to be me. I'll turn on the TV at about 7:10 tonight, and I'll get Fox. They're getting you into this thing. We got to watch all day and see what happens. I'm going to turn on the news at about 10 minutes after 7 tonight when the results start coming in, and we'll know. I'm not gonna sit in front of Fox all day with their phony Fox News alerts.
Exit polls.
Only if the Democrats are winning. If the Republicans are losing, they'll have exit polls all day. No. But that's it's a ratings tactic with Fox News to keep you watching all day long, and I think it works for a lot of people. Keep you on the edge of your seat. Is this a bellwether?
Fox News rather than any of the other news outlet and CNN.
Because these are two majorly Republican races, if you think about it, and more important to Republicans than Democrats. So Republicans will be following this more than Democrats. Because we want to get 2 more seats in there. I don't know. I know Trump has won almost every one he's endorsed and backed. You can't win them all, but he's won most every person he's gotten behind has won. Roy Moore didn't, but he said don't vote for Roy Moore in the primary. He says he can't win. Well, notice all those sex things they were alleging against him disappeared, just like the Kavanaugh. These women make all these allegations and they're gone.
One of these elections tonight has a sex thing to it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
No.
You didn't even know that?
No, I'm unprepared, Steve.
I knew that.
I'm unprepared.
Well, you figure at least you know usually.
Steve, I've been on the air for 3. I think I'm pretty prepared today.
The sex parts.
No, that's you. That's projection. You're the perv here, not me.
One of the Democratic candidates was the one who took a hike into the Brazilian jungles or something with his mistress.
No. You got your races mixed up. You're talking about you're talking about Sanford, who's running for president. Mark Sanford, he's running for president. He was down in Argentina, and he said he was on the Appalachian Trail. You've got your races mixed up.
Okay.
That's remember he resigned as governor, was it South Carolina? And now he's running for president against Trump, and he was the one, he said he was on the Appalachian Trail, but he was with his mistress in Argentina, and he got caught. Now he's running against Trump. He figures, well, Trump's been married 3 times. Why can't I run?
Yeah, well, you got news from me. He ain't,
Donald Trump. No, he's not. Not many people are, except Don Jr., who's close.
Yeah, you definitely had your eye on that one early, Don Jr., the next superstar. We thank you for joining us. Yes, we will be back Wednesday, Hump Day tomorrow, Wednesday. Be sure to join us starting at 6 a.m. On behalf of Brian, I'm Steve. God bless America.
All right, guys. See you later. Take care. All right, YouTube. See you guys later. Make sure you subscribe. All right, subscribe and click the notification bell.